Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show. God, all kinds of mess ups at the start of this show. How's it going, folks? Welcome to a paint and chat. Got a bunch of stuff on my table, but a bunch of stuff is getting done. I'm going to bring George in here in just a second. Hey, George, how you doing? What's happening, man?
Hey, what's going on? It's
It's
always
just
a
chilling.
mystery. Which
Yeah, here, there you go. Yeah, that works perfect. I, I, I've been painting up a storm lately. Got a bunch of new stuff in. How you doing?
good, good. We just had a little graduation ceremony for graduation party for my sister-in-law. She got like a master's degree in something,
Well, that's pretty
and
big.
yeah, so we had a little luncheon at an Italian restaurant. So got to eat a little chicken marsala. So it was nice.
That's a really good
And
song by Billy Joel.
yeah,
Back before he lost his ever loving mind.
bottle of white,
Yeah,
bottle
yeah,
of
I love
red.
that CD. The Stranger, great song. But
Yeah,
yeah, haven't seen you in a while, man.
yeah. It's really doing the Monday the morning shows. It's hard to get on. So it's
Hey,
like
don't
it's
sweat
just
it,
because I
man.
got work and stuff. So it's like I can my schedule is flexible enough, but I just always end up getting a meeting or a phone call or just somebody having an emergency at that time.
Don't
Yeah,
sweat it, man. It's supposed to
yeah,
be a relaxed thing, just a little inspiration to get me going in my morning and everybody else.
yeah.
Uh, you know, I don't want it to, feel like an obligation to anybody or anything like that. As long as I'm not obligated to do this for like an hour and 15 minutes by myself,
Yeah.
that
I
gets
think after
rough.
about a week, I think people got the word out that you were streaming and stuff, and people were a lot more people were coming on. So
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
didn't feel
Bear
too
was
bad, but
incredibly nice. I think he was on
yeah,
every day last week. He and James got to hang out together. Been a long time for them and other folks. Just about everybody who's anybody. We'll come and visit at some point or another if they haven't already, and just trying to uh, keep the hobby friendly and whatnot. So what are you working on tonight?
I think I'm gonna instead of doing mini, maybe just work on some AI art and stuff. So, and
Okay,
yeah,
that
if
is
that's okay.
perfectly
It's
fine.
maybe
I
I'll pop one up here and there as I make them. My
cool. I have been working, a lot on my own RPG campaign. I don't know what game I'm going to use it. I hate using the word engine because it's not an engine. It's just like a little pet peeve of mine. It's just a game.
yeah.
They're all just games. But I
Oh,
did get one in the mail that's a while back that looks promising, but at the same time, it might not be a good fit for what I'm looking at. But hopefully, you'll be able to
mm,
help me out with some art.
yeah,
I've
definitely.
been watching Professor Feynman like crazy and some other people
Yeah.
doing, astrophysics stuff. And I narrowed it down and I found a way I can do a space opera that isn't entirely hand wavy space magic, Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica, and everything else, Star Trek, warp space, and all that stuff, uh, to where it'll work for me, and because like the more I dig into it and the more I look into it, the more I realize it's not going to work the way we think it's going to work. So
Mhm.
I got to do something a little different. And I have been
Yeah.
also working on the 24/24 game, but that will be
Oh, cool.
closer to Halloween. We got to find some more people though, because Off Grid's made it pretty clear he like me I was almost done with sci-fi, but I'm like,
Hmm.
yeah, but I'm burnt on freaking fantasy. What does that leave
Yeah.
me? Horror,
Western.
mystery, and western. And while I love those genres, I just haven't felt the that itch needing to be scratched yet. But
Yeah.
before we get too deep into this, I hate to do this to you. You're gonna have to
Mhm.
watch unwrap a box because
Oh
uh,
yeah.
last month was my birthday month,
Oh
and
great.
our good friend Grim sent me a birthday present. I have no idea what it was, and
Oh
I
cool.
hope it
Uh,
wasn't too much trouble for him. But
mm,
I did kind of open it because I had to do so to get the
yeah.
address label off, so I don't dox myself. He sent me a card that is going up there with all the other cards. You can't see them from here,
Oh, by the way,
but everything.
thank you so much for all that stuff you sent. I'll show after you do your unboxing.
No, no.
And
Oh,
oddly
jeez.
enough, it coincides with pretty much with my birthday. My birthday is Sunday, which is tomorrow. Oh, he cut out. All right. Oh, you're back. Oh, he's out and in.
Okay, now you're taking over my show. What are you doing here, man? Give the guy an inch, he takes a mile.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those egocentrics
Oh,
that think.
I was nervous that I'd have to like hold the show for a minute, like reboot your computer or something. I'm gonna just
This is the
adjust
birthday
my.
card that he sent me. Some space babes from the '80s, clearly.
Oh, nice.
Uh, it's hard to
How's that?
find words to adequately describe a friend like you, but the words "never a dull moment" come to mind. Happy birthday! His whole family signed off on it. There's a little bit of artwork and stuff. It's awesome. Some space ship, a sailing ship, and a birthday cake, and some sort of tentacled alien. I will treasure this more than what's in the box, trust me. But it's going right up there with all the other birthday cards that I've received over the years. Bubble wrap, always a bonus. I remember Red Dwarf.
Yeah.
You remember the tension sheet?
Oh, yeah. It was like the invention that he should have made, but and it was like yeah, it was basically bubble wrap painted
I
red or
got a big,
something.
big. I got a big roll in something I ordered a while ago. Just arrived today with red bubble wrap. I'd never seen that before in my
Somebody
life.
had to. It must have been somebody who watched Red Dwarf.
I don't know, but I'm going to find a way. I'm going to get a stencil, and I'm going to make a bunch of sheets of which because the invention we were talking about was. And I'm wearing the Red Dwarf shirt. What a coinkydink! It totally is because I put this on this morning. But I'm going to cut it. I'm going to spray paint tension sheet on it, and I'm going to cut out a few squares of that and send it out next time I send stuff. I'm not going to be gentle with the tissue paper because I don't save that, and although my wife would be like, "Oh, I could use that." Ooh, okay, this is kind of awesome.
Ah, is that a bow or is that like some kind of weird weapon?
I don't know. It's yeah, it's kind of some sort of double-ended spear, but I do not have a stone giant. Now I got a stone giant. That's awesome.
Awesome.
It's one of the Whiz Kids minis from way back, I guess. Oh wow, another one. But this one's on a clear base, but that's cool to go along with the giants that Cal sent me.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Then we got what looks like a oh, I have a feeling I know what this is. It is a book, but he's always Zane Grey, Western Union. Nice. This is an oldie too. Oh, I love it. I have not read this story to 1939.
What kind of book?
Dedicated to a single strand of iron wire. All right. Oh man. Yeah, this is in really nice shape. Thank you, Grim. He knows I can't go to used bookstores because they just don't exist where I live for
Mm,
whatever reason. And now something in here he told me he made. Hello, Chewy. There's no food in here.
yeah,
Give me
there's
those.
not too
Give me
many
those
around
sad
here.
eyes. I'm not. I'm not. I can't feed you.
Some
Oh my God! You're not going to believe what he's in here.
ah,
I just
good. You
said
happy?
I couldn't feed him, and yet Grim. I hope you watch this. Chewy. This is the most luckiest of magical days for you because I am actually going to feed you. Yes, you can smell them. I bet that's what it was. It's like, I smell dog treats, Daddy O.
he
Oh, you're a good boy. Good
he
boy.
read the
You,
box. Who's this
that's all
from?
you're getting. You're gonna eat that one. He's got this clever trick of taking food and then go running off and hiding it so he can come back for more. Um,
I
like
lost
like
it. Give me another one.
oh, this is
They're so
really
clever.
cool. It's a little bent, but I can fix that. Some sort of wave rider.
Oh, that is neat. Okay. What? Heck.
Some sort of wave rider. That's kind of badass.
Yeah. Is that like from a? Is that from a comic or is that like a?
I
Like a?
don't know. There's some print on here that's tiny. I'm guessing it's like you know it's probably a Pathfinder miniature because
Hmm.
it's on a clear miniature base. I'm betting that's what it is. Uh, and then in the next one, okay, I guess none of these are handmade. He said something about making something in a message earlier, but I must have misconstrued that. And a frost giant from WizKids,
Oh, cool.
very cool. Now I have some serious giants. Did you eat that? Oh, you better finish it because you're not getting more till you eat that. You're a good boy. I will tell Grim that you loved it very much if you finish it. If not, be like, hey, you didn't like those. Thanks, Grim. Mucho appreciation. Um, yeah, that was really cool. That was really cool. And I'm gonna get another one out for the boy. So when he's done with that one, I can just pass it up because he knows there's more. You should go. That was funny, dude. That was funny. What are you doing?
Weird,
He
weird,
look. I
weird.
gave to him. He put it on the floor. He's looking at me like, "Can I have another one? You want another one? What do you say? You hear that?" It's like, I want the whole bag. I know there's a bag up there. Did he put it on the ground and he's looking back at me like I'm gonna give him another one? No, 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 no. And now I don't know where he's going. I think I hurt his feelings. That's crazy. He's such a smart dog.
Yeah. Mine. Yeah.
So I
Mine
wanted to
doesn't.
show you this thing I'm working on. Okay, first you see this little thing right here, this little ball.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a little pull tab, right? Ooh.
Okay. So the little
Well, this
battery.
was
That was.
yeah, yeah. There's two batteries in it, and the on-off switch is literally uh, pulling the tab and forever. Oh, okay, and leaving it on until it dies, or I can put carefully. I've done it before. I could kind of slip the battery back in, but
Mm-hmm.
I got three of these because I bought this. I might get a kick out of this. My camera is like lagging, but it's a
Ah.
hologrammatic city display,
Okay.
and then you put this under it. This is
It's like the.
I've already put the light under it, but the image on the camera is just so laggy.
Yeah.
It's killing me, man.
Oh, that is so
So that
cool.
like,
It looks a
but
little
I got not.
greenish. Is it also glow in the dark or something? Or
I don't think so, but this is it, and it's now actually caught up to speed. But it's all 3D printed. Oop. And then I got a smaller one that kind of reminds me of the table that they were playing that chess game in the Millennium Falcon, but
yeah, yeah.
you put the
I was thinking the
light up.
controls of the TARDIS, but
Oh,
even
yeah,
the thing
okay,
in the
yeah, yeah,
middle.
yeah. But little light element, a little 3D
That's
printed,
so cool.
and I've already for the most part finished painting this one. Just today when I was in hold on a second,
I should
I
see
was
this.
in OGGM's game this afternoon with RPG Grandma and Mike and Jen and uh, myself, and we had a blast. But I got like 3 hours of painting done this afternoon, so that was like awesome. I'll put this away,
Yeah,
otherwise I'll
I
lose
caught the
it. But
tail
I
end
need
of
to.
that.
Yeah, I saw that. That was it's like the literally like the last second before we called it quits. And so I got a bunch of painting done this afternoon, but I'm gonna do some more while we chat. I see
Yeah,
you're showing off some of your artwork in the background there.
yeah.
I'm telling you,
Just
man.
yeah, I just it's just basically I put it on the screensaver now, so it's just like always going back and forth, back and forth. I gotta maybe update it with a few more things in there, but it's just getting a little a little repetitive. So yeah, one of the things I've been doing is so that's the cow space setting that space
Hmm.
cowboy setting that I've been doing with my oldest, and I'm now doing a fantasy setting with my youngest, where we're doing it's kind of like mix it like kind of inspired by like a Harry Potter type place, like it's a but a little darker, and it's a fantasy setting, not like a modern Earth setting like Harry Potter. So
Hmm.
it's like a fantasy world where it's just there's a school, and they kind of built it to keep the the Muggles, or I guess you can call them the mundane people, from murdering and imprisoning the magical people, which at some point was an issue. And different, like there's like they have the little um, houses in Harry Potter, but in this case we have 8 houses color coded. There's like red house, blue house, all the primary colors, all the secondary colors, in black and white, basically.
Okay.
And they're yeah, and it's like and
To,
kind of
to,
work.
to like designate like what their school's all about.
Yeah, well, that one of the interesting things, it would be more about personality and motives, and sort of life calling, versus like it's like somebody, let's say they're like more of a druid type person. They don't necessarily go to greenhouse, which is the people who are just kind of outdoorsy types.
Hmm.
Like they might want to do that. They might want to be blue house, which are more the guardians and the martial people. And we would have there could be people with maybe more like clairvoyance and powers in their dreams, or there's more uh, other magics, like fireballs and ice magic and frost and all that, the common, kind of the gambit of fantasy magic systems. And they might choose to be like, one could be, it's a little more inspired in some ways by, if you've ever read Wheel of Time,
No, I did not.
the White Tower, and they have color coded ajas. They have like color coded societies within their groups.
Okay.
And they're more about motivations and stuff like that than, let's say, not necessarily what they can do. So it's kind of cool, and I think I might do some stuff with that. So, and we were having some fun today, coming up with little rituals of how people join their house. Like it's a little more informal than, let's say, like Harry Potter with the sorting hat. So like what happens is a new student comes in, they're like new, they just sit at the dinner table, and they're brought out a cake with 8 slices in it. They're not allowed to eat it, and if anybody shows, any of the particular clubs show interest, they come over and talk to them, and have a slice of cake while they talk.
Okay. Nothing wrong with cake, man.
Yeah,
I guess except in Portal.
yeah,
So I discovered something interesting as hell with 3D printing. I've been working on this giant spaceship. You see this piece
yeah.
right here? It's a gangplank of sorts, and it was printed with the hinge that works without having to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the
You know what I mean? It's two
yeah,
separate
and
pieces that were printed so that they
that's
move.
yeah, it's all printed at the same time. Like it's just literally on
Right.
the bed like that. You might crack it a
Yes,
little bit because it's like maybe they might have a little
a
gap
drip
that's
or
filled in. Yeah,
a connector line, but that's freaking amazing.
yeah, that's one of the
And
things.
this set was filled with several doorways, and all of them are like that. And I'm like, that's precision, man. That's serious precision
Yeah,
work.
and it's
And
hard to even with 3D printing, it's hard. I've done some things like that on my 3D printer, but you got to like really know what you're doing. Like I did this. It's like a puzzle where it's like you kind of fold it into a cube, then you fold it out. It's almost like infinitely folding in on itself, but it's just
Okay.
kind of the way it's hinged. And it was so hard to get it working because maybe I'd have the as it's printing. Sometimes what happens is it pulls up from the bed, and then like this part of the cube is squished,
Okay.
and then it starts throwing things off, and then next thing you know, you when you try to bend the break that little seal that the pieces are kind of sticking together with, it ends up just
Mhm.
cracking the whole damn thing.
Did you see those Evermorph cubes?
No.
Okay, imagine a Rubik's cube. This was a Kickstarter, and I just got notification that I'm getting two in the mail
Hmm.
because I ordered two. Um, okay, but on the Rubik's cube, instead of it being colors, it's little parts of a dungeon, and they all line up.
Hmm.
So each square of the nine squares on each side is like a room or passageway or something. But no matter how you twist the cube and rotate the pieces, everything will line up.
Hmm.
So it's a random dungeon generator on a
Oh,
Rubik's
cool.
cube, so that I
That's
can
cool.
just randomly and as you can imagine, there are some 64,000 different possibilities of a dungeon that you can create with this thing, and I am looking forward to getting that in the mail next week, and I will show it off. And I got one for Jackie, knowing he'll probably never need it or use it or whatever. But it's also a nice little fidget kind of toy that maybe will get him thinking. If it's on his desk, and uh, he'll be like, "Oh, hey, yeah, I want to make a dungeon that looks like that." Um, it's just pretty cool because I think
Yeah.
there are like some cavernous elements to it, like natural caverns instead of just all dungeon. And it doesn't say what each room is, which is good. But this is kind of a neat little gimmicky little thing I picked up. Uh, and it wasn't that long ago. The Kickstarter was like less than 6 weeks ago, and it's already going to be in my hand. I'll check when my payment went through. Uh, etc. to see like how long it took them from start to finish. But I think they already had them all made, or like a crap ton of them made. Speaking of Jackie, he had his JROTC awards ceremony last night. He got quite a few awards, but he was the one of the MCs as they did the changing of the guard and everything like that because the year is just about over, and a lot of emotions running high at the end. Kids knowing that they're done. They put in their 4 years. They're not going to see each other, in uniform and stuff like that. It was really awesome. I want to
Yeah.
say like intense, emotional, but I mean I just saw it from the sidelines. But it's like, man, I wish I would have done that. I really
Yeah.
wish I was a different person, but that just wasn't to be, and I hope he takes that learning and all that stuff with him wherever he goes. A friend of mine who passed away last year, he was a really good friend of mine, but he, every time I brought up Jackie, he would talk about how he did it and how he loved it, and knows how much it. And I could tell because I had this group of friends, like we all did, and he was the most disciplined of them all. And other than that, dying thing, he led one of the more productive lives of the guys I grew up with from my college era, not my high school era, because
Hmm.
I moved, and those guys for the most part I never saw any of my high school chums again. But from college, he did really well, and told me how much it helped him grow up and learn a lot more than just like trying to squeak through high school. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. My
Because that was me, man. I just
Yeah.
squeaking through, man. Just
I
trying to get out of here.
Yeah, and me in high school, it was like I was like literally like C's and D's, C's and D's. I get into college. I don't know what it is, the freedom or whatever it is. Like people think I'm like a smart person. They would like if they saw my grades in high school, they'd be like, "You were like mildly retarded or something." You know, you were like, and I wasn't like I wasn't getting C's and D's in like the AP courses. I was getting C's and D's in like kind of you're one step behind where you really should have been courses. So, and then in
If
college,
I
I don't know
had,
what happened. I just got, I don't know why it changed. Like, I really couldn't
were
explain it.
you gaming more in college?
No, I think in college, I didn't.
I'll bring
the
you in a
friends
minute, Omen.
in college, I hung out with like my cousins who weren't really into gaming. We were just into like cars and going to the clubs and just,
Okay.
being normal people. And I was
Okay.
also working with like, with like waiters and chefs and things, and we were just staying like going to after hours places because we would like work till like 1 in the morning and then try to find some place in in like New York City that was like actually serve you after like 3 a.m., which was like
Because
yeah,
for
those
me, I
places
was
were
that way
bizarre.
in high school, in elementary school. I was awful. I mean, there were classes I would get A's in, but
Mhm.
those were like weird classes that I had an interest in, and my French class
Yeah,
for some reason. Well, there was a
yeah,
reason, but I'm
yeah,
not going to talk about it on camera, if you know what I mean. Me and the teacher had a special relationship, and she let me, and not what you're thinking, but she let me get away with turning in things late and stuff like that,
yeah,
and I shouldn't have passed the class. I should let alone get an A, but
yeah. I
uh,
always did good in history though. I don't think I ever
that was
really, but I didn't.
not one of those classes for me. What's up, Omen? It was like
Hey,
art and wood shop and
Mhm.
ceramics. Any of the hands-on classes, welding, things like that. I did really really well in reading and writing, but math and history just completely a waste of the teacher's time. How you doing, Omen?
it's fine. Well, I'll say this much.
Hey, Omen.
The history that they teach in school is not the history that people find interesting. I mean, to be fair on that,
You
it's
mean the
just to give you
fake
type of.
history?
Well, no, I'm not even saying fake history. Like, did you ever watch the show on the History Channel called The Real West?
Yes.
That was a lot of fun to watch. I really liked watching that. But they don't talk. But they don't want to talk about hookers and brothels and other stuff in school. Uh,
Imagine that.
so
Not
that's
Yeah,
what I mean
wanting
by
to talk
that.
about the red light Western District in high school.
yeah.
That's what I mean by that. I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just it's just a different attitude towards things. And like, okay, I
Dude,
understand where that's coming from.
our history class that pertained to the Old West was less than a week long.
Mhm.
Every year for 4 years in high school, the ancients through World War II. We were the good guys. Everybody else was the bad guys. Yay, America! The end.
Well,
We
I
never
mean,
got to anything past that ever.
well, my parents got up to World War II, but I never went past World War II. And I'm like, what in the world's going on? And I cared more about like more common stuff myself. Um, yeah, just the whole thing. It's just
Vietnam and Korea, those are just places on a map, as far as I knew.
well,
I
see,
learned more from MASH, which I did actually like that show a lot.
sure.
One of my favorites. But
I'm saying
okay, I
for
learned more from history watching Hogan's Heroes. You know,
I mean, for me, where did I was in Germany. I saw castles, I saw cathedrals. So of course I loved that stuff growing up. Um, like, oh no, there's D&D. Of course you love that stuff. But I think that's part of the issue is most people don't have that. That's actually part of the reason when I took my son, I took him to Hungary so he could actually see some of the castles and things. But they don't talk about all these things. And let's be honest, a lot of stuff is more complicated than they give credit for. Um,
oh, absolutely.
but I really do think that
But
it's
there's also been an agenda. I mean, we can't gloss over that fact that there's been and it's changed over time. You
sure,
know,
yeah,
what they wanted you to learn and what they wanted you because they didn't teach you how to think. They taught you what to think and what they wanted you to think about certain eras in this country's past and history. Very different. and which is weird because it's even different for us to what it is now. What they're teaching, like my boy in history, is verifiably false. You can go anywhere, but they know that most people aren't going to do it, and then they're not going to argue because they know it's pointless. Because if you answer wrong, the test says this is the answer. If you give the wrong answer, you get you know a failing grade. You can't argue uh, against the agendas in the United States school system. You just
Well, I
can't.
mean, I'm kind of fortunate, like I said, we have homeschooling for my son, and it's not that hard to homeschool your children. Um, so I don't have any problems with a lot of it. It's just, things are, at the end of the day, you still have to make sure that things are interesting. And,
Yeah.
People, you have to show how things are relevant. Sometimes I find it interesting just saying, well, what's the history of like buttons? And you're like, what? And you're like, oh, really? Like I read a book. I'm not saying it was the greatest interesting book, and it's just a specialty book anyway, but they were talking about for colors. And then you find it about dyers, and because they smelled, they were lower class, but they became very, very rich. And then the book was called The Perfect Red, and it was talking about stuff like that. And you're like,
It's
oh,
funny
okay,
because I've
that's
actually
cool.
heard of that book. I was terrified until a second ago. I've actually heard of that book, The Perfect Red. Didn't read it, and I don't think I ever will, even after what you tell me about it. And I got to wonder, how much free time do you have?
Well, I mean, if you read book, well, not as much as you do
I
while you're
read
playing.
books, but
I know. Well, but that's the thing. It's like, well, what kind of books do you read, and what do you enjoy for reading? And that's what it really comes down to. And I like history a lot, and that's one of those things that I because of that, it's like, okay, and I know that you want a more fantastical game, but I kind of look at things like that. But I also like doing things because I like the fantastic. I like, well, what's possible? Whenever we talk about sci-fi, I'm like,
Mhm.
that is the coolest thing ever. Um, and I think that sometimes we forget things like that.
Like what?
Uh, like if you, like I said, I know you guys haven't watched it, but watching the Project Hail Mary, it's like, well,
Oh,
what
okay.
is possible? And I,
Yeah.
I, I enjoyed it. That's. Am I going to say it's the greatest thing ever?
What's
No,
it
but
about? I've only heard about it. I just heard the title.
so what it has to deal with is that the
Oh, I think he cut out.
is, and they have to, but they're trying a world where it is not eating the sun, and they're trying to figure out why.
We
And so
missed the first part of that. No. We missed the first part of what you said.
it's
Oh,
eating
You're
the sun,
cutting out.
slowly causing it to dim. Uh-oh, still there? Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
but we heard none of what you
and the
said.
Earth is slowly starting.
I guess he's not hearing what we're
okay.
saying either.
From what I've seen, I haven't seen it yet, but I know there is they discover that there's something going on in these stars. They're like all the stars are starting to get in our vicinity are getting like infected, and I guess it's going to basically ruin them and destroy them somehow. I don't remember exactly what, but
Okay.
and so they send Ken from the Barbie movie to
Sorry, I'm not.
fix everything. But of course, the team has been. I don't know, something happens, and he's like the only person left to save the world. Oh, we got two. Oh,
Omen, you've got two things going, and I can't have both of them. I'm gonna. There we go. Okay. Are you doing your laundry in a laundromat? What's going on there, Omen?
Major
The
Tom,
most professional.
take your protein pills and put your helmet on.
The absolute most professional show on YouTube ever.
Maybe you should have got kicked out the other one and put that one in.
Okay. He
Let's see.
is welcome to come back anytime, but I don't know what the hell that was.
Maybe he's in the
That
chat.
was weird. That was weird.
Is he in there?
So let's get these two pieces out. My gigantoid starship is just about done. Um, I should be able to show it off, at least pictures on Discord next week. Okay, he is back.
There. It was on my end, I assume.
Oh yeah, we know.
I'm okay with that.
Oh yeah, well,
feelings.
I can see how that would not bother you.
No.
Here in Shadow and Sun TV land, we kind of, pretend to be a little bit professional. I mean, you know, we're big fans of make believe, but so I heard what George had to read off what Project Hail Mary is all about because we heard none of what you said, but we're more than anxious to hear your opinion of why you like it and why you think it's interesting.
I thought it was interesting. It's not super action. It's much more about the story and the characters. But as part of that
Okay.
is they find this creature out there, and it's not human.
Yeah.
It's not even close to being human, which I really like. I am getting tired of everything being I don't want to call it Star Wars, but see, Star Wars at least had non-human, but I got tired of Star Trek, where they always like, oh, everything. And I understand why he did it, but it bugged the hell out of me. I'm just saying.
Hey, Coco, what's happening?
I think what you're referring to, and I don't want to spoil it, but I think the original series did something similar.
Well,
with
it was
certain episodes.
Gene Roddenberry specifically said that there was not going to be non-humanoids more than once, by my understanding. Is the way that he did it. He did not want. In other words, they could have a show, but it couldn't be on more than. But it couldn't be on there more than once. Is what he was trying to say.
To be fair, you never hear anybody say that about like the animals. Why are they all have 2 or only 4 legs, or things like that? Except for obviously insects and arachnids and crustaceans. And I think bilateral symmetry is probably showing us that these are the optimal shapes and forms for life.
Is I want it to be non-human. I want it to be.
Yeah. I remember as a teenager.
I do too. But let me put it this way: if we went out in space and we actually could and started discovering life, and they all ended up looking like humans with appliances glued to their faces, it wouldn't surprise me, and I wouldn't be bummed. I'd be like, darn, oh man, they're humanoid. I wouldn't be one of those guys like, cool, we can boink them, but I would be like, okay, makes sense,
Yeah. I remember as a teenager, there was this one show. They played it on like PBS, and it was a BBC thing. It was called The Tripods, where basically everybody. It almost looked like those like the like you'd see these like mechanical tripod walkers that would almost like out of what do you call that, War of the Worlds kind of look to them, and everybody had these little triangular metal things in their scalp, which was like basically controlling them and keeping them docile. The Earth has been invaded by the tripods, and we are their servants now. And I think you got to get it like a little later or something as a teenager. I don't remember exactly what. And there's these 3 guys kind of going down the road, following the old railroad track. One guy's French; they call him Beanpole. I remember vaguely. And they end up. And then inside these tripods, these mechanical tripods, there were literally tripod aliens. Like they were like shaped like tripods. And I think it was like one of the first times I saw like an alien that wasn't like somebody that was 2 arms, 2 legs, a head, and some kind of plastic appliance on their nose. And I really enjoyed that. It was a kick for me. If I could find it, I think
sounds
it's
familiar. It sounds like something maybe Jackie was watching or checking out a few years ago, but I have no.
It might be like a French author, perhaps, or a British author. I'm not quite sure. Like it was, I know it was a book series because they were like, it was like during, it was like during the pledge drive week, so they had the whole like Saturday or Sunday or whatever it was. they were
Mhm.
playing like the whole season and breaking it
Okay.
up with the pledge drive, and you'd get the tote
I
bag, and
haven't seen
you could buy the
I
if
haven't
you pledge.
seen like one of those in forever. I mean,
Yeah, the
like
internet.
30 years. I haven't seen like a what was it, Jerry Lewis
Yeah,
telethons and things like that. I haven't seen one of those in well over, yeah, well over 30 years.
yeah. The
That's
internet changed
crazy.
everything.
If you hadn't brought that up, I probably would have lived the rest of my life without thinking about the Jerry Lewis telethons or pledge drives.
And they would
Those used
literally
to be
on the
like a big
screen, they
thing.
would have people on the phones in the background, and Jerry Lewis would be like singing a song and talking about the kids. And
Uh-huh.
it's funny because like I try to say that I'll just jokingly talk to my kids about that because I know they have no clue what I'm talking about. Hey,
Right.
don't you remember the Jerry Lewis telethons? It's like what? Like
Yeah.
from like the 50s to the 80s, like into the 90s even. They would have like they would take over a channel for 24 hours and
Yep.
raise money for Jerry's kids, which was what was it, which one is this? MS? Is it? I forget. Or Lou Gehrig's disease, one of those.
Yeah, it wasn't Lou Gehrig's,
Things.
but uh, I don't remember, to be honest. It's been that long.
We just
Uh,
think of it as Jerry's disease or Jerry's kids. Which I guess kind of it's sweet that it's like that. I mean, I heard he was kind of a scumbag, but that he like did stuff like that.
right?
That he was like, like yeah, something. There is kind of like sometimes who knows what was behind his demeanor, but he did that. The things like that. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm going to go with just giving him a benefit of the doubt on
yeah,
that one, just because I, what can you do?
yeah,
If you find out he was, doing terrible things to each and every one of those kids, a little late now, isn't it? Um,
yeah.
I,
But
I want to think that he was a, you know, just like everybody else. He had his problems, but
yeah.
he tried to do some good, or he was a giant scam artist and he ripped off millions of people for probably billions of dollars.
Yeah. So
Excuse me,
long
folks.
ago.
Oh,
It's
but
yeah,
yeah,
it's so different.
that's
I
we
was
were
just
we were
thinking.
talking about that on the game. You probably heard
Mhm,
things have changed so much, and so many great simple things
mhm,
just gone. I'm sure our folks and our grandparents did the same things during
yeah,
their generations, but we were kind of like the last generation of folks that got to do a lot of those things and those
yeah,
types of outdoorsy, you know, on your own as a kid kind of things. It's gone. That
yeah,
that they'll never come back unless something drastic happens, or maybe it's like that in Europe still, where kids can ride around on their bikes after school and
hmm,
not worry about getting shot or abducted or something like
yeah.
that. But we had so much freedom,
It's
from. I mean, we could literally get away with skipping school and our parents wouldn't find out.
yeah,
If my kid's
yeah,
15, not even 15 minutes late, if he's like 15 minutes late, I get a phone call from the school. You know,
yeah.
there's no
I
ditching school. There's no,
yeah.
do you know where your kids are? Oh yeah, of course we do now. Back then we
And,
didn't,
and,
and
and,
we
yeah,
didn't care.
they call you on your phone or something, I guess. And I remember when I was little, like even like there was a contingency that the schools had because like they knew that some people didn't have phones in their homes. And that's one
Right?
of the things I just learned today. I think it's Castle Rock, which is like a town about 10 miles south of Denver. So it's they're like the phone company isn't supporting landlines anymore or something. Like you can't have a landline
Wow.
anymore.
I,
So
I've been
I
trying to get my wife to get rid of our landline. If you ever have the opportunity to get Vonage as your landline,
Mhm,
don't. It's the biggest, worst scam of all time. Two things. One, you're paying $15 a month so they can run your phone through the internet. So
mhm,
they don't
Oh,
even have
that's
to have.
terrible.
It's the
yeah.
worst phone service of all time. But at the same time, they monitor every word you say. Um,
Oh
my,
gosh.
my, my late friend who passed away, he and I would years ago we would call each other, like once a week just to catch up. And if we started talking about certain things, the phone would they would just cut us off. It was like, nope. They literally, and then we would call back, and start talking about something, and then say something like Trump is awesome. Click. I'm not even kidding. Just to prove what they were doing, and I would call my aunt, who lives in another state, and we would talk. And as soon as she'd ask me, so what do I think about this? And sure enough, I'd start telling her about you know helping her interpret politics, in the way that would affect her and how she could stay safe and stuff. And sure enough, click, call her back. Let's change the subject. And then she'd bring it up again. Click. It was just unbelievable uh, invasion of privacy. And I'm certain someday we're going to hear how Bonnet's getting the class action suit because other folks figured it out as well and got together and decided uh, what they were doing was highly illegal. Just crazy, crazy world we live in. Back in the good old days, it was just the FBI and the CIA listening in on
Mhm.
your calls. Now it's just some rando company that they're a tiny
Well,
little phone company. You know what I mean? What?
yeah,
Why would they care? You know what I mean?
I
Other
think
than the
it's
fact
I
that
think it's the
if they
idiots they
cut
hire.
off your call, if your phone call dropped, that would mean it was cheaper for them, but they could still charge you more. So a temporary denial of service would benefit them, but why would they wait and why would they listen?
Hmm.
Unless they were like hoping to get blackmail material or compromise, something stupid. It would just be like
Yeah. And one thing with the
crazy,
landline, I would say, is like I literally learned how to use it when I was 5. Like you learn the. I remember literally they came in with like this, basically a mock telephone system into our kindergarten, and I sat there with one of the other kids, and we pretended to call each
Yep.
other and this and that.
We had to
We
we had
memorized
to
our
know
phone
in
numbers.
kindergarten. We had to know our address and our phone number because we got quizzed on it at
Yeah,
the end of the school year. Uh, just like you said, they
yeah.
wanted us to know
But
our number.
now the problem is they can't handle a cell phone. Like it's like okay, you got to unlock it. Some of them you need a fingerprint or a code. Like my wife's, it's
Holman, what
fingerprint
are you doing?
because of
You in a car?
maybe it's like hotel Wi-Fi. He travels a
I don't
lot,
know.
so I don't know if it's he usually has something pretty stable.
But I know he and other folks from Texas have kind of some issues over there for some reason
Uh,
with the internet doing things like
oh,
this.
so I was saying, like, really learn like one, so that now it's like it's on you. You have it on you. You're walking around the house. Kid, let's say you fall over. Maybe you left it somewhere else. They got to go find it. They got to go dial 911. It's complicated. And some of these phones, well, like my wife's, it will let you dial without like unlocking the phone. But it's so complicated. Like you could, I don't think a 5-year-old could like do what we were able to do on the phone. We could dial the operator. We could dial a 911. Dial. That's it.
Right, right.
And it's funny, like you'll see on apps like phone symbols that look like a handset from like an old rotary phone, and it's just like, why they don't they have like they grew up not even knowing what that looks like. I think maybe we had one still in the basement at the other house, but
I think that's for because I've seen they do make like cell phones that are supposed to be easier for seniors.
well, that's cool.
Maybe that's what's going on. Holman,
Yeah,
I hope you've got your
we're thinking of
thing
getting
taken
our
care
kid
of.
switching the my one daughter has like our my old cell phone for my old. It's funny she still has my old Jersey number, and she's yeah, it's like tempted to get her a flip instead of that because it's just too many other options on there, too many distractions, games and stuff.
Yeah, I have like nothing on my phone. Like I use it
Yeah,
to. The only thing I use, I've got Amazon on it. I've got YouTube. I've got the tracking device for Jackie and the rest of the family, and that's it. That's all I use it for.
yeah.
And
All right. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, it's tough. It's like something. It's like, something. I almost feel like the phone and the internet and social media are like, to us, like we are like the Native Americans when like they get like alcohol and firewater and firearms and, and next thing you know, it's like we're that. We're not ready for that, and we got to like be ready for that. It's tough. It's a tough world. I think the phone is. I mean, I admit it. I'm basically addicted to the phone or the internet, at least for that matter. And I can see the activity. I could see the behaviors. You can see like you're scrolling because that one time you found a really cool video, and then like so you keep scrolling. Well, last week I found a really cool video, and I always find really cool videos, but now I'm like scrolling for like so long. Well, maybe I'll just put a video on while I'm doing this or that, and then like the time it took me to find the video, something to listen to while doing whatever I was, is probably longer than the activity I was playing.
Well, do you like the things that you hit the thumbs up?
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes.
See, the more you do that with the thumbs up, like I never have to look very
Mhm,
long for a video. I'm subscribed to a bunch of channels that I like,
mhm,
and a lot of those channels are, explicitly long form videos. Whether it's Professor Feynman or some of these people that make these AI videos
yeah,
talking about different aspects of history or physics or astrophysics or whatever, and I can just leave it on and while I'm doing the dishes or I'm reading a
yeah,
book or folding laundry or whatever I'm doing, making dinner. So I don't have to look very far. And that way, like as soon as I turn it on, I'll see like, 6 or 12 or whatever little images of videos that they think I'm going to like. And 9 times out of 10, to be honest, the top 3 or 6 videos, there's like 2 videos that I'm like, yeah, I want to watch that or listen to it, I should say, while I'm doing this. And when it's over, I'm going to go check out that one to the point where I'm like, in my mind, it's like, yeah, I want to know about that particular bit of news or
mhm,
what's going on or whatever. It's really weird. I saw one uh, right before dinner. And I knew it was like weird because there was a Benny Johnson video, how there was a big mushroom cloud over Israel. I'm like, what the shit? But
yeah,
before I watched it, I scrolled all throughout, up and down my regular channels, and nobody was talking about it. I'm like, okay, Benny, what the fuck? You know, Either you're getting the first scoop, and 10 minutes later, nobody else is talking about it, which usually it would be the biggest thing for the news cycle. Whenever there's something, everybody's covering it. I'm like, all right, I'm not seeing anybody talk about this, so this is probably a bunch of bullshit. Sorry, Benny, but nobody else is talking about it for like. I bet I could go on there right now and nobody's talking about it.
yeah, yeah.
So, did it happen, or was it just a little bitty thing and you're blowing it up because you do that?
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe I should get Audible. My wife has an account on it, and she has a bunch of books on there that I probably would listen to that I haven't even listened to before. Or even, I
Mhm.
think it's even easier. Maybe a book that you've watched, but you read before, and just listen to that. Because especially if you're like distracted, you don't
I
worry about
can't do
missing
that.
something.
I've developed the same thing with PDFs. It's like I might own it, but I'm
Hmm.
not going to look at it.
Hmm.
I'll maybe in an emergency because I don't have that book for some reason,
Hmm.
but I usually do. I can't do Audible books like I used to a couple years ago and stuff. I want to read the book.
Yeah,
I literally want the complete focus on the story because I find that when I'm listening to the audio books, I'm just not. It's just like another, you know, like listening to a video. I'm not giving it my full attention. But when I
yeah.
sit down and read a book, like when I was reading End of Innocence from the Red Room, I was like
Hmm.
getting really into it. Not just because you know, they're great products and he's a great writer, but there's no other distractions. It's just like me and the page, and comprehending the words, like each and every word, as opposed to just hearing it. I don't think it's uh, going to stick in our memories as well.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I think we're going to
I
find in the years to come that that education completely by hearing is not going to be as
Well,
stable and long term.
yeah, I think it's just a matter of the dividing our time. Yeah, sitting down
Mhm.
reading a book is kind of just a luxury in time. Just instead of like go
Yeah,
like you said, do the dishes and
in,
listen
in
to
a
stuff.
lot of ways, it used to be that way, and now it's even more so. In the past, that's all there was. So
Mhm.
you want this information, you got to sit and read the book. Now it's like it really is because you know your house is noisy, people are talking and moving around and doing stuff, and if you're reading a book, they just act like, well, screw you for needing some privacy and some silence and some quiet. How dare you? How selfish. You want us to be quiet so you can read your flipping book? Yeah,
Yeah,
I do. Yeah, I fucking do. You got a problem with that? Go
I remember
upstairs. Stay
that
out of
reminds
it.
me of the
Read my book.
there was like about maybe 10 years ago, kind of like when the early Trump first, or maybe even before Trump, but it's like kind of when everybody just started losing their minds, and there was like one of those like Black Lives Matter rallies at like a college library, and they're like screaming, 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 about whatever their cause was. I don't remember exactly what.
Mm.
I think it was like a Black Lives Matter kind of thing, and then this Asian guy comes up, just screams, "This is a library!" Like it was just funny because he had that kind of a thick accent, and it's like, yeah, the insanity of that you're gonna make your protest at the library to like what to
You know
probably
it's
half
bad when you're starting to
90%
feel
of the
like
people are like on their side, and it's like okay,
it's bad when you're starting to feel like Burgess Meredith in Time Enough at Last. You know,
yeah, okay. I
Nobody in
am,
my house reads a book. Nobody. I've never
uh,
seen my wife read a book ever. Grandma will occasionally read these little
yeah,
uh, books she gets from Mexico
hmm,
about religion and stuff. I think she's getting
hmm,
them from the Jehovah's Witnesses or something like that. And
hmm,
she's reading those. Um, okay, it's close to reading,
yeah.
um,
I
but
gotta,
it's more like propaganda at her level as far as I'm concerned. But
yeah,
I grew up in a house where mom and dad uh, every night they were reading a book. They'd be in bed. They'd both be reading a different book.
yeah,
Sometimes they'd switch off, so they could talk about the book or whatever. Even though they did have some different interests, they had some similar interests.
yeah.
Strangely,
I remember my dad's
revolving
putting his,
around World War II. Uh, it was weird as hell. I've never read this book. Maybe I should someday, but I could swear they kept rereading "The Winds of War" by Herman Wouk
mhm,
over and over. I was like, what the hell's up with that?
the Winds of War. They made that miniseries, right? If I remember. I think so. It was
But
like a,
hey there, hi there, ho there. What's happening,
where's the
Bear?
Thornbirds I'm thinking of?
Yeah, yeah, I think they read that one as well. But there were a few books like that were obviously really really popular at the time.
Yeah.
They used to read a lot of
I
Alistair MacLean, which is
was,
weird because um, I mentioned his name once in another stream, and sure enough, freaking Ice Station Zebra, the movie, came up in my
mhm.
feed, and I'm like, always wanted to watch that one. Check Discord, old man.
Yeah. The I was
I
thinking of
swear to God, if
something.
you say send me the link, I'm just gonna freaking send you the link.
Somebody in
Of course, Barrett,
oh,
you don't
there's
even have
Bear.
to
Hi,
ask.
Bear.
All you gotta do is just say, send me the link, old man. I'm just gonna put it here because I'm feeling brave, man.
It's like DS9 right now where you're you're Dax and he's I forget his name. Cisco.
Come on in there, Bear. The link's right there in the thing. But yeah, I that would be like the worst to not be able to read anymore for any reason.
Yeah. Yeah, people like I guess it was just different. Like I don't. It's just so many other entertainment options, and I'm not claiming to be a reader. I'm more of an audiobook guy. And I should be maybe just sitting down and reading and making that example while I insist my girls read something physically.
You think? What's happening, Bear?
Hey,
Hey, yeah, no, I've we all had that thought in our head, right? What was the one sense we would hate to lose, right? Like if you could pick all the senses, what's the one that that would absolutely just your life would be shit? Sight. That's the one for me.
yeah,
Like I'm too old to learn Braille, baby. You know what I mean? So I'd be like,
Yeah.
and books on tape make me fall asleep. So I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah, I would give up smell or taste, no problem. Sight and hearing, fuck no.
Hearing, I mean, look, you you get by. You know what I mean?
Life
But
would probably be a
sight,
lot more
oh,
peaceful.
well, yours would be.
yeah.
Be a lot less ay in your world. So that'd be kind of cool.
There's none of that. I've
Yeah.
never heard that ever. No, wait, I have, but it's from her family's side, not from her actually, or her
There
mother.
you go.
They're very, very quiet. But you get them all together, throw in some alcohol, and you're going to hear some ay ay ay's.
I may. Too funny.
I wonder if they're even here. It's awful quiet. They were going to go watch the Michael Jackson movie,
Uh huh.
but they keep putting it off.
Wonder why. How was Jackie's thing?
It was really, really good. He did really well. It was very, bittersweet. Graduation. Final ceremony, changing of the guard, and saying goodbye to people that they know they probably won't see for a good long time, if ever. In some cases, some of the officers that came in from previous eras and things like that, and
I think our T-shirts say a lot about us as the quality or the type of nerd we are. We've got Star Wars, Red Dwarf, and Dark Side of the Moon. I think that speaks volumes about us.
and literally, you guys and the people out there in TV land are the only people who are going to get it. I could wear this shirt every day for
Dead
the rest.
Dave. Dead Dave. You're all dead Dave. Everybody's dead Dave. Just that scene is
We're
like
all dead, Dave.
they're all dead Dave. Yeah, no, but that scene works so well because it establishes the level of the show right away for you. Like dark
Yep.
humor.
And just how dim Dave is. Just thick.
Yeah. Can't fault him for it though.
No. I mean, he's a great guy, a great character. Love that show. Getting ready to watch The Prisoner. That'll be arriving Monday, so I'll start watching that.
Nice.
And-
Did you get your book from 10 miles away?
No, not yet. Not yet. I know. I could have walked there, so we got it already. Literally walked there.
And now it's the weekend, so you're not gonna be seeing that till Monday or Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. It's all right. It's all right. I got plenty of other things to read and do and fiddle fart around with. But yeah, it was really fun last night. Jackie got several awards. His unit was top dogs in the thing, and I could really see how much he was admired and respected and loved by his friends and peers and things like that. Whenever his name was actually mentioned, things like that, and you know,
Well, let's hope he doesn't peak.
No, I'm sure he hasn't. He is going to be, tempted to uh, make too much of the next couple of months of vacation, when in fact it should be the beginning of everything else. Not like, oh, I worked so hard, now I get to do nothing for 3 months. Like, no.
Yes. What is wrong with you? Yes. That's the
Um,
idea.
yeah. When I graduated high school, um, I was already looking forward to and hanging out at the college like the next week. I mean, it was only 2 blocks away, so
You
I
know,
thought it'd be-
I'm sure we've had this conversation before in the past. You know, he's not you, right? Like you understand he's his own person who's going to do his own
absolutely.
things. Okay.
My point is that when he spends an inordinate amount of time in his room,
Yeah, he's a
and
teenager.
yeah, and you know, I could tell when he's just like saying he's got homework and has homework, and he,
I'm not going to explain to you why your son spends an inordinate amount of time in his room, Shadow. He's a teenager. We were all there once. Come on, brother.
yeah, yeah.
Let him be, you know?
I've learned it's mostly sleeping.
I'm just worried that he's gonna, make a habit of that, because I see so many of his fellow kids do the same thing.
Fellow kids. Maybe stop calling them kids when they're like about to graduate from high school and go to college. Maybe that's the time to stop calling them.
I call people, anybody 10 years or more younger than me, kids. So
Hello,
I
fellow
don't know
kids.
when I became my
Hello,
grandpa.
fellow young people. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The meme with the skateboard.
Yep. Someone's got to remake that with Shadow's face instead of what's his name?
Steve Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi. Yeah, just have it do with Shadow instead. Hello, fellow young people.
There's something about him, man. I've never seen him in anything I didn't like.
Good actor.
He's just,
Very good actor.
he seems like he's either an absolute a-hole or a really decent, down to earth guy.
No idea. Never worked with him. I have heard a large number of people sing his praises, though, so probably not an asshole.
That's good. We got far too many of those.
Oh God, yes.
Like far.
I was gonna do a radio show tonight, but I got so in the flow working on Heroic 5e that I was just like, yeah, all right, fuck, I'm not doing that. And then I was like, oh, maybe I'll do a chill stream, see who's around. Then I saw you were on. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Nah.
Well, you're here. Appreciate it. I did, like I said last night, I hung out with Janet for a little bit, listening to her show, but
No, it's Friday. Yeah, Friday night. Yeah.
I forget what she was talking about, and at some point I got distracted and had to bail from that. I need to go hang out with Max, but I just feel like this is a hobby. It's not like I don't want to feel like I'm going to class or teaching class when I talk about it or have any interactions, and it's just like, I don't know, just a little too much pressure on the stay on topic, etc. Like, it's not the McLaughlin group, okay? Just relax.
Well, but that's what he's doing. It's not a chill stream. It's a panel show.
I
He's
know.
allowed. Listen, he takes it seriously, and anyone who goes on should take it seriously. And if you can't, then just don't go.
I don't take anything seriously anymore.
Yeah, you do, though. That's the worst part. Just the stuff you take seriously is really weird. It's kind of disturbed. It's kind of like stuff you find in an attic.
I think that's
Yeah,
how I found you guys was Max Liao show.
Oh yeah, sorry. Apologies, George. You've come by the radio show once or twice, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been on the radio.
Remember when you requested something? By the time I got to playing it, you were gone. I'm like, well, fuck him then.
I'm sorry.
People make a request, expect it
That was
right
probably-
away. That's not how radio works, motherfucker.
I was,
That's been enough years working in. Whatever.
I was
it's fine.
probably pulled away by a screaming child.
Yeah, that's. Well, yes, but I ended up marrying her. But yes,
Ha ha! Ha!
Yeah,
You married a screaming child? Wow.
I usually request super science.
Oh yeah. It's a weird one. I got to remake that. Maybe I don't know. We'll see. I got to make more music by that guy. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see. We'll see.
you inspired me to make I'm doing. I have my youngest daughter, her friend, and her friend's parents. They play 5e, so I'm running a 5e game every few Saturdays when they're available, and I've set it in Eberron, and I kind of try to throw a couple old school things in there and things like that, and so there's something called the Blood Sail Pirates, and I'm making this haunted mansion, and I used Suno to make like a song for them, and it was part of a puzzle, and it uncovers the song, and so it was kind of.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's how I started doing it. Was just this multimedia feeling where I was just making songs for. I was making songs for like my fantasy campaign, like tavern songs, and then one of my buddies was like, "Why we're playing heroic? Why aren't you making heroic songs?" And I was like, "All right, fine, fuck you, and I'll make heroic songs." And then that just turned into a deluge of like. Was it how many fucking pieces of music have I generated? Hang on. I have kept, not completely generated, but I have kept. Let's see. For just the 1980X stuff, 747 songs.
Wow.
If I go look at everything tagged in total, this is the total list. All told, I've done 865 pieces of music so far. And I love it. I absolutely love it. I adore it. I have fun doing it. It's a great way to spend my time. It gives me pleasure. I literally cleaned up my Apple Music playlist to only have this music on it now. I don't even listen to regular music anymore.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I found it fun. I'm not really much of a musical person. It's like, you wait, and I'm just using the free version. And you just wait a few minutes, and not even like you're like, wow, it's just generated something
music.
What I asked for.
And once you start getting into it, like there's tricks and stuff you can do to sort of try and steer the song and make it go the way you want, and it's really fun. Once you get that, when you get something that's like that's exactly what I wanted. Oh yeah, it's like it's a feeling, buddy. That's like
yeah.
Because originally, the way I used to describe it to my buddy, I said it works like this: I'm a songwriter who then goes to Suno, says what kind of music I want this set to, and generates a bunch of songs, takes on it, and it's like different bands auditioning to play the song.
Yeah.
Because it used to in the old days, it would give you like if you put like glam metal, right, as your thing, like just something simple like glam metal male vocals, 1980s. And you generated two songs, it would give you two very different takes on the same song. Now it doesn't do that as much anymore, but that's okay because now I know how to make it do what I want more, so I don't worry about it.
Yeah. I remember trying to make something for like an intro for the Star Wars campaign. And I'm like cinema music, and it just kept putting a piano in. I'm like, I was like, no piano. I couldn't figure out how to get rid of the piano because I don't think piano is very Star Wars.
No, it's not. But there's ways to do it. What I find works really the best now, Gemini, the AI Gemini, you ask it to make a style prompt for you for Suno 5.5, and it does the best job I've ever seen.
Oh, that's
like
cool.
ever since I started using Gemini for this, the quality of my tracks has gone up because they're now more what I want them to be. So it's really fun. But I'm also trying to
like company wise or something?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It's just for some reason that AI has an understanding better than Grok or ChatGPT.
So you've got Colossus and I forget the Russian computer working together.
I think Gemini's like basically it's in.
You ever watch that
Google
movie,
search.
Forbin Project?
Yes, I've seen the Forbin Project. Yes.
What's the one where they
conspiracy theorist? What? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, it's okay.
When Shadow was trying to, he was doing a kind of like watching some old sci-fi movies with her son, And it was the one where like it was like 1971 where they were burying where this computer was taking over, and
Yeah,
he wanted the humans to make him a base in like Crete somewhere or someplace.
yep.
So the Gemini I think is basically is built into like your Google search. So
Yeah,
that's
it's part
easy.
of Google. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
get a discount on it. Like I get a because I have Google G Drive storage, and I bought like I basically canceled
Okay.
everything I had Microsoft, right? So to do so, I canceled my OneDrive, and then for the same price I was paying for my OneDrive for my Microsoft Office, and only getting 2 terabytes of cloud storage from them, I get 5 terabytes from Google, and I get Pro Gemini access. It's like, okay, this is way better use of my money now. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
that's
it's
cool.
way
I
better
should consider
overall.
that.
Yeah. And what's neat, Grok actually is good because I use Grok a lot too. You can actually a Google Doc, you can put it to share view, and then put that into a chat in Grok, and Grok can access the document and read it right there for you, and then you can sort of work on projects that way. It's really fun.
Cool.
I'm a big fan of like agentic AI. I want to see that completely develop itself. I want my own. What's it from Iron Man? Jarvis. I want my own Jarvis.
Yeah. One thing I find sometimes I use ChatGPT to help make the encounters and things, and surprisingly, like it knows stuff. Like I'm like I want to make an encounter for the Star Wars game, D6 West End Games, and it's like it made stuff relatively accurately. Somebody got to smoosh
Yeah,
some
it makes
here and
mistakes.
there.
You gotta tell it. Like I find with Grok, what I do is I tell it, okay, and then now triple check your fucking math. You know, that it does it. It's like, okay, and it does it, and it goes, okay, based on the, and like, even then I'll be like, no, that's wrong. No.
Yeah.
It started arguing with me at one point about something I'm doing with Heroic 5e. I was making characters NPC templates, and it was like blah 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 blah. I'm like, no, that's not. It goes, yeah, absolutely. And it tried to argue. And I went, I wrote the fucking game. What are you talking about, right? And then I watched the thinking go on as like the 5 agents are talking to each other. It's like the user has stated that they wrote the game, and I was like, yes, the user did write the game. Oh, well, then we should listen to him. Yes, we should. And I'm like, this is fucking hilarious. I love this shit. This is sci-fi brilliance. I think it's fantastic because humans are fucking. So, like, one of the big complaints about AI, generative AI, is always going to be, oh, it's slop, it's slop. You know how much human-generated slop I've put up with in my fucking lifetime?
Mhm.
Like, do me a fucking
Yeah.
favor. Quit acting like humans. Like it's so sad. Like 10 years ago, if somebody put up shitty art on like a Reddit thread or Facebook, you get a whole bunch of comments. Get good, scrub. You suck. Go kill yourself. Now, because they're all anti-AI, guy puts up a stick figure fucking cartoon. Fucking brilliant. Belongs in the Louvre. You know, like that's how they are now. It's like the human quality. Like, oh, fuck off.
Yeah. It's man, like I mean, I do the AI art, so it's like it's part of like when I was in college, I'm like, oh, should I go to this, go to that, do this or this, and like, I don't want to be like starving, so I didn't go into art. Probably should have. I would have probably been happier, but now it's like now the AI is out there and available. It's like I've been able to bypass all the art school training. I mean, I have some, I still can draw and stuff like that, but not the level of like this thing behind me here, or anything like that. But so it just sort of like gives, at least it gives me some hobby to do and
exactly. And it's not hurting anybody. Don't believe all this bullshit they tell you about water usage and this and it's all horse shit.
Yeah.
And also, like the Indians have already solved the energy problem because they're now deploying micro nuclear reactors to be basically the power sources for their data centers over there. It's like only a matter of time before we start having them here. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Also, nuclear. Despite what the Sierra Club, which is backed by big oil, wants to tell you, safest, cleanest form of energy generation we have other than the sun. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Yeah, I have a feeling
Come
that
on.
there's going to be like we need all these all this electricity for the AI. It's like I think all the resistance to nuclear will start to fall away now. I've been following some of that stuff, like what's going on with like chips and things like that. There's this like Russian lady that does this like channel about analyzing chips, and they're like what like Musk is doing in like Texas. He's making a big chip factory, but he's taking a big risk because I guess he's it's not his thing. But he usually buys chips from other people, so and then he needs chips that he could use in his satellites and things like that, which is another layer of complexity. And meanwhile, there's the Taiwan, which is literally the other Straits of Hormuz, basically. One is for oil, one is for high-end chips, and it's interesting. I think Intel's making a play now. They're trying to make some really small chips. They're kind of trying to push. It's risky though. They're pushing smaller, but the smaller they go, the longer it takes to make a chip. So then they lose money if it takes too long. It's bizarre stuff.
Well, I mean, I remember somewhere in around 2010, I read this article where someone said, "Does anyone else feel like they should have just paused technology for a decade?
Yeah,
They just should have said, we're good right now. Like Blu-ray, we're not going anywhere past Blu-ray. Just let Blu-ray happen, and let's sit with Blu-ray for as long as we sat with VHS, and then we can move on to whatever's next." So that 3 years later, it was all digital streaming starting. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah. Yep, they're never gonna stop. Who are we kidding?
No, of course not. I miss VHS. It was so fucking tactile,
Yeah.
Oh,
I was watching Adam Savage tested, and he had some guy the archivist for Paramount or someplace or CBS, and he just had all the different formats that they use there or they get, and it's old reels, of course the films, and it's so many different film form and trying to preserve them. Some have to be in cold storage. They have the whole vinegar syndrome, they called it. And then he gets into Betamax and other stuff, or the sort of professional equivalent of Betamax, where they were kind of and how much they can store, and they're like, well, we're going to keep this one because it's the Spanish language of the broadcast of this. And
I just saw the stupidest title for a video I think I've seen in my entire life. Could Magneto survive the Terminator? That's like a 3-second fight. What are you talking about? Could Magneto survive the Terminator? I think Skynet's fucked, is what I think is going to happen.
I'm thinking what was that in one of the movies where the Hulk just smashes somebody?
Godzilla versus Bambi comes to mind.
It's Avengers when he just beats Loki like a fucking rag doll. Yeah, exactly. It's just Jesus Christ, people.
Maybe it's it's the AI throwing out little bitty IQ tests.
How do you live in this world where everything is a suspicious? Someone's trying to fuck with you. I don't get your brain, man. Hey, Dungeon Minister, what's up, Father Aaron?
Betamax. How's it going, Dungeon Minister?
We had my family had Betamax first. That was our first home video thing. Was a Betamax.
I think we did too. I don't.
We had the movies were it was such a weird box of movies we got with it too. There was Caddyshack, a couple of nature documentaries, and then this one porn tape that my parents didn't realize was a porn tape called Electric Blue Volume something or other. I was 12, 13. I think I wore that fucking tape out, brother. Forget about it. Nah. It's just too funny. And then Betamax banned porn and killed themselves in the industry. They refused to license the superior technology because Beta was superior to VHS to let adult film people use it. It's well, you're done. Goodbye. Fuck. There's only two things that'll drive a technology. Two things: military and adult entertainment. Who's this? Who's
Welcome back, Owen.
Because you got to chat up.
Hey, just because that's why we have VHS over Betamax.
Yeah, for whatever reason, we were more into laser discs at the time, or around that time, and talk about a freaking. They were gorgeous. If you ever looked at them,
my buddy had one.
Disc. They were actually just.
Yeah, they looked like albums. They were neat. My buddy had one, and his father had set up a projection. So they had a white wall that they had painted with this slightly reflective paint, so it would bounce the light better. and he had
Okay.
the three color red, blue, green projector mounted up atop, and then that was hooked up to their laser displayer. So we'd go over and watch like really cool sci-fi films on 6 feet by 4 feet or whatever. It was fucking cool.
Mhm.
In the 80s, it was cool.
Yeah, but they
Now
were
you can go buy a TV that big.
right. We had like 2 milk crates with them in with the discs. The
Oh yeah,
plastic thing. They was freaking insanely heavy. Just like trying to move those crates as youngsters, it was just like, can we just leave them here? We'd have to empty them halfway. My old man or my mom would want to like move the crate to a different location for whatever reason. And we only ended up having maybe about 40 or 50 of them, but we'd watch the same 3 over and freaking over and over again.
Yeah.
The good old days.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a big fan of DVDs, but I'm not doing the Blu-ray thing because
I mean,
I
I
don't think
did
it,
the I have the Blu-ray, but to be fair, it's not like if I already have it, I'm not getting another one.
yeah, I think I only have like 4 Blu-rays somewhere.
Well, I got the PS3, and that came with was its own Blu-ray player. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, and then I do have a Blu-ray player for my computer just because I want to store stuff. So all the PDFs I have, I can store them up if I need to.
Yeah, I think what do I have on Blu-ray? I have like Planet Earth and Apocalypto. Apocalypto is a good movie. That was a good
really,
movie.
we bought it on a street corner, a bootleg, or my wife did, and I never had any desire to watch it.
It's tough because you have to like there's a lot of subtitles.
Uh,
But it's just a good story, a lot of action, a little brutal. I mean, very brutal. It means literally the Aztecs like sacrificing people and stuff like that, and how they catch them and all that. And
Oh, tell me that isn't true.
yeah, what I liked about it was like you see these like images of like Aztecs like on the walls and stuff, and they have all this like stuff on their face, like it's like some kind of adornments. And I'm like,
Mhm.
what is that? It's like, what is this like stylized? Is this something? And then they show how it looks. Like you see people with like pieces of what do you call it? Like turquoise and jade and all sorts of like things on their face, and it's like that's how they did it. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
yeah.
yeah, I had to watch. I had to rent the Venture Brothers movie because it's only available on Blu-ray. The only other place I could find it was Amazon, and I wasn't going to buy it so that they could tell me when I couldn't watch it because
Yeah.
I've noticed they do that. I was trying to watch Invincible uh, last last year when Jackie was on vacation in Mexico. He's like, you should watch Invincible while I'm gone. I'm like, okay, I'll try. And I watched season 1, and then I started watching season 2, and Amazon said, yeah, no, we're having trouble right now. You might want to come back. And it did that for the entire time he was gone,
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
and they
That
wouldn't let
is
me
One,
watch.
weird. I've literally never had that problem with Prime, so I don't know what you mean. It's weird.
I think I've had it before, but I rarely rent stuff on Prime.
I
It
know.
wasn't even
Rent-
renting; it was free.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's part of the standard, package for what they have.
Yeah, we have the Prime package, so but it's amazing how many things they want you to pay for. Like I was trying to watch like something like Kolchak the Night Stalker, okay, like obscure as hell. Nobody would give 2 shits, right?
Right.
Why would you want to? Why would you monetize this? Other than the fact that someone said, "Hey, I wonder if it's on Prime and if I can watch it." Yes, but you're going to have to pay for it. But wait a minute, I'm supposed to get a bunch of stuff for free. Wouldn't this be one of the things that you'd be like, is
Mhm.
free? The things that nobody's going to watch, so they're free.
I don't
Nope.
know. You know what is they? To be fair, is I know they do the licenses like once a month. So I always find it funny with Disney. Oh, you can do all these things for Disney, and then I find out that if you just wait long enough, they'll put on HBO Max, and then after HBO Max, it goes on Tubi. After Tubi, it goes on. It's just kind of funny how
Conan.
that.
You know what I discovered? If I put on my eye patch and go to the right places, I get it right away and for free.
Arr.
Yar.
Yeah, I don't.
Yar.
One unusual backup is the library of all places. It's sort of you can find
yeah.
something.
Yeah, I live in
Blu-ray, the
Franklin,
hero of Electric Blue.
The
and it's
but the middle
all
of nowhere libraries,
Electric Blue.
they still have pretty good choices.
Yeah, I don't have that. I don't have that luxury you all get with your library shit because I live in Quebec. So yeah, if I want books in French, yeah, everything I could want. Movies in French, everything I could want. Anything in English, you go to hell. You go to hell and you die. It's like, okay, thanks.
That's funny. I say that all the time, and nobody knows where it's from here at the house.
South Park.
Yeah, Mr. Garrison.
You go to hell. You go to hell and you die.
I'm usually saying it to my dog, so I'm not really offending anybody, but they still don't get it.
Oh yeah, no, I've mastered the art of calling my cats morons while using the voice that makes them think they're good boys. It's just the way it is. Everybody with a pet learns that eventually. Just who's the stupid fuck? You are. You're the stupidest fuck ever. What a dumbass you are. And they're just like, ah.
Omen, are you here or are you not here?
Nope,
Omen's not here.
Okay.
it's a bad omen.
Mr. Omen is not home.
Because it says he wants to join.
Yes, I'm here sometimes and sometimes not. It keeps kicking me off. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard
It's Restream.
or Restream. I mean, normally we've been good all for the last while. So
Yeah.
What browser are you using?
I'm using the same one I've always been using. I've been using Safari for a good.
Yeah, Restream's weird with everything but Google for some reason.
Yeah. Well, I've been trying different ones, but like I said, this is the same one I've been using forever, and just this one time, it's just.
I'm on Brave.
I won't use. I'm on Brave too. I won't use Chrome because I run a Mac, right? Like you, Omen, and I just did the system resources check when I'm running Chrome versus running Brave. I'm running Brave. I got like 10 tabs open. It's like, yeah, you're using 50 megs of memory, maybe 100 megs of memory. I load Chrome with one thing. It's like, hey, can I have a gig of your memory, please? Fuck off, Chrome.
Yeah. So
Technology, man. What are we going to do?
I have made like 100 iterations of this thing.
What are you working on?
I'm doing like a little with my daughters. I do like these story games where like just basically informal. We just come up with this idea, and this is a setting for my youngest where we it's kind of inspired by like a Harry Potter school, but it's a fantasy setting instead of like Earth setting, and there's like a school that's in a giant tree, and there's sort of these clubs instead of like the houses. They have these clubs, and there's 8 of them, and it's a little more like the Ajas in Wheel of Time, and each club is sort of like not based on their magical abilities, but based on their personality and sort of calling, in terms of how they want to use their stuff in their lives. So like reds are like the adventurers, the yellows are the social ones, the social workers, I guess you could say, the ones who want to make everybody friends and things. And there's all in each there's like 8 colors, so like all the primary colors, all the secondary colors, and black and white.
So, question for you, George.
Mm-hmm.
Would it surprise you to understand that I didn't understand anything you just said because I never read Wheel of Time, I've never read Harry Potter. I don't know
Okay.
what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yes, those are things that exist. Yes, I know those things exist. Thank you.
you.
It was okay. I wasn't asking for a deeper explanation. I got it as you continued on.
Yeah.
But at the start, you're like, it's like the Ochas, whatever the fuck that is.
Yeah. Oh, they're like organizations, sub-organizations, informal sometimes within the school itself. Frats. How about that? Fraternities. And the thing is, like, I'll do these story games with them, and they'll remember everything I came up with, and I'm like, let's do that story game again with the with the reds and the blues and the yellows, and I'm like, okay. It's like, there's a girl and she comes up to you. It's like, is it Mindy? It's like, who's Mindy? The one that that you told us about yesterday. Like, oh, okay.
Listen,
And,
kid, I'm not here to maintain your canon. You just take the story I'm telling you. That's the way it works.
I'm feeling bad.
That's awesome. It's
What are
awesome
you,
though.
They're
you a
having,
Star Trek nerd? Jesus Christ.
they're having, she's enjoying it, and the older one wants to get involved, and she's trying to get some input into it. The younger one's getting a little jealous about that, so there's a little bit of some difficulty there. So,
Sibling rivalry.
well, the oldest has the space cowboy setting, so and she's kind of hasn't been able to help with it much. So, but she has been doing some drawings for it.
See you later, space cowboy.
We made a character. She has a copy of the school had a kind of a like a book day, and people put their used books and then they sold them. They gave them back to the kids, and she has this copy of Ender's Games, and it literally has the name Caitlin O'Hara written on it, and every page there is notes and comments all over the whole damn book. She must have to read it for class or something, and we just thought that was hilarious. Like that. And now we've made her a character in our space cowboy. It sounds like a very
Well, what you got to do is
name.
Google search her and find her, and then
Yeah.
include her into the
Charger.
game.
Yeah, she's well, that'd be cool. So she's like a character that's sort of in the lore. So we had a good time with that. It's funny. We're like, she's into because she likes to draw and stuff, and she's like into guns. Like she's like, I want to draw a gun. I'm like, okay, we live in Colorado. Though we're like we're homeschooled, but we have like these sort of kind of like homeschool assist things. Like they go a couple of days a week too, and it's just like, I don't think you should be drawing guns around other people just because you get like nervous. So they're usually, most of them are Christian. I don't think they give her a problem, but you see people like freak out because like they're drawing guns. But she's like, she's like, I wanted to learn how to draw a gun. Like, great, we're doing right, we're doing good. Yeah. So
I would be a little careful.
I found like a documentary of the history of firearms. That was pretty cool. She was enjoying that. She's fine. She got up to the Old West. I think she's up to now.
Very cool.
I have a bunch of those. I was looking to see if I have it here.
Yeah.
My old man left me a lot of really cool books like that.
I think that's
Of course, I haven't touched them in 25 years. I don't know why the French print their book spines the opposite way. When you stack books, they have to be front cover down to be readable. To be different, to be...
The French are the French. I mean, what do you want me to say?
There's a lot of anger. No,
does that translate into Canada? Like, do they do the French style of printing then?
Don't know. I don't read French books. Listen, when you are forced to learn French and you are forced to speak French, you don't immerse yourself in French culture in your free time. You're like, fuck you, you Frenchy French fucks, and you just go on with your Anglosphere and go, I'm gonna learn Spanish. I gotta learn Spanish. They're like, why, pourquoi? Why you want to learn Spanish? You want to make the French? It's like, no, go fuck yourself. I'm gonna go learn a language that pronounces every fucking letter. Like, Jesus Christ, fuck off, French.
That's kind of how I feel about. Yeah.
Really? Is California got a language law in place that says everything has to be in Spanish and English is not allowed unless it's like 3 times smaller than the Spanish part? And all public services have to be only in Spanish. And if you go see a doctor and it's not an emergency, they have to speak to you in Spanish. And if they catch them speaking to you in English, the doctor will get a fine in a medical system that's already hemorrhaged enough doctors and doesn't have enough doctors to meet their. Is that what California's like? Because if that's what it's like, it's just like Quebec replaced French with Spanish. You have no fucking clue, guys. None of you have a fucking clue. You're just
No,
the
but
Americans going, we got to speak other languages. I'm fucking stupid. I'm American.
Bear,
I love that I can
if
speak
you've
two
learned one
languages.
thing
And I
about
love that I'm working on the third language. But don't try and
if
compare
you
the Quebec situation, please.
if you've learned anything about me, you should know that if something annoys me, it annoys me at level 10. There is no lower levels.
There's
It's
no
just straight to 10.
context.
But you learned
Just straight to
Klingon
10.
before French.
No, because fucking Klingon nerds annoy me more than any other type of nerd.
I remember I was when I was this girl, and I guess I mentioned watching Star Trek. It was like I think TNG, not TNG, the Next Generation, time. And oh, you like Star Trek? It's like, oh, now do I tell her I like Star Trek? How do I how much do I tell her I like Star Trek? Like, okay, I get disappointed if I miss an episode, but I do not learn Klingon. Try to make that balance.
I'm
Yeah,
glad
I'm sure all
you
that.
stopped somewhere.
I had friends who were onto that Klingon thing, and I was just like, I'm doing like vampire LARPs, and I went to one of their Klingon events. So I'm like, I'm going back to the vampire LARP, and they're like, wow, because the fucking chicks at the vampire LARP are hot. This is just.
Okay, apparently the internet doesn't like Bear's opinion about.
Apparently, Restream doesn't like a lot of opinions. I'm like, I'm not even saying
clearly the Klingons run Restream. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, come on, think about it.
That'd be a very cool way to deal with it.
Yeah, I never had to deal with any of those kind of nerds. It was the people trying to learn Elvish that were my equivalent.
That was your step too far?
It's like, come on, guys. Couldn't you be like, I don't know, saving the whales or something just as useless?
Well, speaking of Star Trek and whales.
Oh, no, not Star Trek 4.
It's a great movie. What are you talking about? It's a great movie.
Nuclear vessels.
Can you tell me where the nuclear vessels are?
I think one of my favorite lines is double dumbass on you.
Well, double dumbass on you. Admiral, I've noticed your language has changed since we've been here. more use of, shall we say, colorful metaphors. Yeah. Well, on that note, gentlemen, I am going to bounce out because that actually isn't Restream. That's my computer overheating, so I have to let it calm down for a bit. Because
no worries, Bear. I will see you probably Monday-ish.
Never. Like you will never see me unless
have a good night.
Because I am the fog, the mist, the smoke, the shadows.
Because he's never going to Canada to go.
He's the drizzle.
That's why.
Bye. Yeah, take care, Bear. I like Star Trek. I don't carry around a toy tricorder.
There you go.
I'm going to get struck for this, but I got this. This was a gift when I bought I bought the season 1 of the original series. I got that and a toy tricorder, but I just need to find batteries for it. And I've had it 6 months. I haven't even watched it. The original series is about the only Trek I'll probably ever watch again. To be perfectly honest, kind of didn't really care for anything else afterward. It was just, I don't know.
I thought Deep Space Nine did a good job.
I never actually saw that one. Everybody tells me it was great, but
I think at the time I was watching
girlfriend
Babylon
in high
5.
school, she was way hotter than I should have been able to date, but her nerdiness knocked her down a couple of notches.
Well, you know what? We know that's a lie.
The Dungeon Minister would never lie.
No, I mean, the nerdiness doesn't knock you down a couple of notches. It raises you up a little bit.
Well, it depends on which circles. If you're talking about like normal people, then yeah, it probably does knock her down a bit. But if you're talking about us fellow nerds, Yeah, that makes her like a 11 or a 12, depending on which particular group of nerds you're talking about.
Here.
But I noticed. Hold on a second. Maybe I'm alone here, but it seems to me all of like the nerddoms that I've met that women were into, that were like parallel to our own. They seem to not either don't have that off switch like we do, and it's like you don't want to scare the straights, you know, uh, or they just have like they're like so much more into it than we would emotionally admit to. Do you ever notice that, or is that just me thing?
Maybe you just notice it. I just looked at a lot of women like, oh, okay, and then they're like, oh, this is all like, I'm like, you're boring.
I didn't get that, Omen. I didn't understand that.
I'm saying, but for me, a lot of the women I found more interesting were into that stuff, um, or at least something that they were passionate about. The ones that were just like, oh, I want this, and like, most women just were boring. It's like, could you get something, I don't know, special about you? That's,
Yeah, yeah, like a particular passion, an original uh,
yeah,
drive, or
something of the sort.
yeah, those kind are rarer and rarer. It seems. Um, I have not met many women that had like their one thing. As what was his name from City Slickers said. Uh, Here we go again, Omen. What's up with that?
This.
Yeah, even my wife, I couldn't tell you what her quote unquote hobby is, other than uh, finding new things to be interested in that have like become like old news. Like right now, her thing is Michael Jackson. It's like a little late to the game. She reads the novels and would tell me the entire plot in painful detail. She sewed herself a Star Trek Next Generation medical uniform, looked amazing in it, but it was a bit much at school. Yeah, we weren't allowed to do that except on Halloween, and to the point, depending on the school, except for the last school I went to, where even if you uh, dressed, like overly heavy metal or overly, what was it? What was it called? The kids are dressed like right out of the 50s. You Stray Cats fans. What was that called?
Swingers
No, there was
or
another word.
rockabilly.
Thank you. Yeah, that they would be like, tone it down, collars down, shit like that. Because they all
Yeah,
put
they
their collars
my
like
high
they were
school banned
Dracula.
jackets. Like I don't know why they banned jackets. Probably their gang thing. We thought they just didn't like the image of like leather jackets. There were a lot of
Yeah,
like
yeah.
people into the Ramones and stuff and wearing the leather jackets. Yeah.
What are you talking
My
about? If there's four people, it looks right. Right now, we've got the Piers Morgan show, and you are more than welcome to join us, James. I hope you had a nice, enjoyable trip and vacation with the family. That sounds wonderful, but unless I can take my dog, I don't go because I'm not leaving him alone for like more than 8 hours because I'm not leaving the back door open. And it doesn't matter how much food we put in the bowl, he won't eat it unless someone's there, like giving it to him immediately. He'll just He's like a cat when it comes to that.
My dog doesn't like being outside unless she's with somebody. She loves being outside.
Mhm.
Just we have to be with her, which sucks.
Yeah, Chewy's kind of the same way. If wherever the people are, that's where he wants to be.
Hmm.
I'm betting that's GM James. It is the Jamester. What's happening, man?
I'm being a boomer. I forgot to turn the volume down
Hey, James.
Okay.
because I was watching on YouTube. What's up, homie? I tuck my dog. I don't go anywhere without my boy.
Hmm.
He's my wife is my emotional support wife, but I do got a dog too.
Yeah, a little
So, any
Pomeranian.
interesting encounters while you're out back home?
I mean, if you're wanting to know about cryptids, no.
Okay. I was watching
I
I was watching Miss Thursday Adams again. I don't know why.
hmm,
She's just adorable. I'm sure she's married. But she was talking about how at night you don't look up in the trees. And I'm like,
yeah, there's a lot of rules in Appalachia.
I'm telling you, that's the first thing I'm doing. I'm not even going to get there till it's nighttime. I want to make sure it's nighttime, and I am going to scan every mother loving tree, uh, just to find out, you know, what's the worst that can
Well,
happen.
I showed you the bruise on my arm, right? Where I
Take care,
jumped
Dungeon
down
Minister. Love you.
on a flat rock and it scraped all the hide off of me.
Hmm.
So that's about, I mean, I don't know. We went to Juliet, Georgia and ate lunch in the diner from Fried Green Tomatoes, which
Never
is,
saw it, but okay.
yeah, I mean, I've never really saw it either. I know that the one lady ran into a car and said she had better insurance or something. That's what I remember. But we
Yeah,
went
my
to the
wife
place
watched
that was
it.
filmed and I ate a BLT, except the T was fried green tomatoes. So
Oh,
bacon lettuce tomato, but fried green tomato instead of tomato. It was good.
Okay, I I,
I was
I,
like, all
would,
right.
I would try it. Was it all right?
Yeah, it's good. Well, I like fried green tomatoes. You have to understand, I'm a
Okay,
Southerner.
right.
Fried green tomatoes is a thing that we eat. So yeah, it was I mean, it's bacon, lettuce, tomato, and mayonnaise.
Yeah.
How do you F that up? You know what I'm saying? It's going to be good
Well,
no matter what.
some would say by adding the lettuce and the tomato.
And some would be correct sometimes. I would agree with them sometimes. That's right. Just throw a bunch of slabs of bacon on that joker and go, right?
And skip
So
skip
how
the
have you
mayo and
been,
just make it
man?
butter. Just give me
What
some
were you
toast and
guys
bacon.
talking
I'm good.
about?
I think we were talking about Star Trek, and we were talking about old technology that we miss, beta and laser discs, and getting old and crotchety, and things were better in the past, and the same shit we always talk about. We're fucking
I
old, man.
confronted my age this week.
Oh
When I
yeah.
walked up the mountain, I remember it not being quite so difficult, but it's been like a couple of years since I walked up it. And it was difficult that time. And I remember that time being like, damn, it didn't used to be this hard to walk half a mile up a mountain. And now I'm all like, I gotta stop and take a rest, lean on a rock or something. But it's funny you guys are talking about this, and I'm sorry if I talk too much. Just cut me off.
I don't know. I don't
My
know.
wife and I were talking about technology, and I was saying when it comes to like ideas, I think we're done. It's like the only way to move forward from where we are now is to come up with material technologies.
yeah.
Like, and the example we were talking about is like the M2 Browning heavy machine gun. That thing's been in service 100 years, and there's no way to improve it short of building it out of superior materials
Yeah.
because the actual design cannot be better.
I think
You know what I mean?
I think
Kind of.
And
yeah.
yeah, I
There's a
mean,
historical context. So I think in a historical context, like a lot of guns last like a century to be in use. Like the brown bass was like, I think like the Brits were using it for like a century, and things like that. There was,
They were
but
using the brown bass in the Civil War, bro.
yeah, and they were using. I think
So
I
that would
guess
be
in
200 years at least
yeah,
for that bad boy. So anyway, yeah. So it's like the only way well, look at your combustion engine. When you take all of the shit that they've strapped onto the actual engine block off, it's no different than a Model T. It's still internal combustion cylinder drive. It's the same thing. But we put tech stuff on like fuel injectors and shit. But the basic technology is unchanged. The only way to change it is material. So that's why race car drivers have their engine blocks made out of like, aircraft grade aluminum engine blocks and shit like this, because it's the same design, man. Like a
yeah,
1960 Chevy 350 big block, it's not changed. I mean,
yeah.
it's still the same damn thing, right?
They're like
So,
there's some like amazing like meta materials. I've been watching Isaac Arthur talking about them, and they're like things like how reflective something is, and all these and transparent they are, and there's just some amazing like qualities, not just sheer strength. Like they might be able to make something with like a graphene and nanotubes and things like that, but it's also the other properties are amazing. You right, Bear?
so
Or
your
not Bear?
mind went where
Shadow?
mine did. I mean, keep going. I'm just agreeing with you.
Oh
Your
yeah,
mind with the carbon nanotubes, we
yeah,
Yeah,
talked
but
about that
what
too.
about all the stories? There are multiple of the tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of inventions that are forbidden.
Okay, like how the auto industry used to buy up all of the alternative fuel car designs to make sure they never got built.
And things like that. Yeah, you know,
Uh,
I
yeah,
think it's not that we can't do better or whatever. I think we're being artificially stunted.
that is a good argument. And as far as the nanotubes, the thing we talked about, homie, was that nanotube black paint. I
Okay.
forget the name of the paint, but it's so black it absorbs light. And it's made with carbon nanotube technology. It's
oh,
super
okay.
expensive. If you
Oh,
look
that's
around, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's
yeah,
so black that they painted a mannequin's head, and then from the front of it, looking at it, you can't see its features because
yeah,
it absorbs light so much that you can't tell it has a nose or eyes. You just see the outline. It looks
Gotcha.
like a hole in reality.
yeah. There's
I
no
want
shine.
Gallon.
There's no nothing. It's yeah. I've seen some of these videos. It's bizarre, and I guess you have to really see it in real life because we have our screens, so they have a little bit of shine, but
Right.
you can kind of see how people react to it and stuff. It's yeah,
Yeah, people go
and
nuts.
yeah, interesting thing is that like not just like the simple effects, like carbon nanotubes are one of the things that they talk about strength, but in how black it is. I guess it's kind of amazing. Or like graphene is also another strong material similar to carbon
Right.
nanotubes, but it's in
You mean that
sheath.
stuff they tried to shoot into our veins last couple years ago?
I don't know if they
That's
were shooting
MNRA.
carbon nanodes into you,
The
um, but
so
he's
the
100% right. Carbon nanotube technology is like so much lighter than the strongest material we currently deal with, and
yeah
so much stronger at the same time. It really is. But the problem is, it's super expensive to actually make it to be
yeah,
usable.
and
I
the
mean,
other
if you're a billionaire, you can get a car with a carbon nanotube, shell, but it's going to cost you so much money. It's just not financially worth
Well, it
doing.
depends. I mean, if you're a billionaire and you're out fighting crime,
Exactly. Exactly.
just
Yeah,
saying,
and you've got an armored suit made out of some sort of special, super freaking tough material that no one's even heard of. Yeah, sure.
and it's painted in that carbon nanotube paint, and
And it's all that black. Yeah, but anyway, it's just yeah. We talked for like 3 hours about science today. I mentioned you though. I thought about you, and that's why I looked for you because I was talking about
appreciate
the
it.
whole that physicist you and I watch,
Professor
Feynman.
Feynman. Yes,
Finlander. Yeah,
Feynman.
and all the stuff that we talked about, Like my wife, I explained to her that gravity isn't actually real. It's just our observation of another thing happening, which is a mass on space time creates the effect of gravity, but gravity is not in itself anything. So
Yeah,
basically, we're all trying to fall to the center of the earth at all times because,
yeah. Like there's no
Because that's where the
particles of
party's at,
gravity or
man.
anything.
yeah.
With all the
But
dinosaurs and the, you know,
Yeah, that's
I
what they
think I've
talk about
just
in the
got
hills of
dinosaurs,
Kentucky. It's
dragons.
just, they're talking physics and astrophysics and philosophy. Who would have
Well,
thought?
and you know how it's weird how often those three things become the same thing.
Yeah.
If you go deep enough into physics, you get into philosophy because it's like, why? What are we even talking about? Like we shouldn't be able to touch stuff because we are more empty than we are made up of things.
Hmm.
There's so much space between our molecules. We should be able to walk through stuff, but somehow we don't because
Yeah.
I don't know
Uh,
why. No one
I,
does. It's just like,
yeah. It's like
I guess God does,
it's the
but
fields
I
of
don't.
force of electromagnetic forces. So the atoms have like a kind of an electromagnetic field around them. So there's like they have the charges and stuff like that. So that's what we're interacting with when like things are trying to go through each other. It's not we're hitting the atoms. It's just the forces
Right,
in the atoms in this hand and the forces in the atoms in this hand just stop it from
right.
happening, even though they're not necessarily aligned up.
Well, to quote the brilliant geniuses in ICP, magnets, how do they work?
Yeah,
I remember that song, Miracles.
that's
There's an
actually another thing.
actual verse where the one guy's like, magnets, how do they work? And I don't want to hear a scientist because they be lying and tell me shit. It's like,
Well, that's one of the
it's
yeah.
insane
One of
clown posse.
one of the things with magnets is so there's you keep cutting a magnet in half, it's going to still have a north and south pole. And there is a theorized particle that's called a magnetic monopole, which would be a carrier of a north or a south magnetic pole without the other
Mhm.
one. So, but it's in. I guess it's one of those things we don't find, but there's nothing that says it can't exist. So they're like kind of trying to figure if they can make them or if they maybe formed at some point in like during like some part of a early Big Bang, early after soon after the Big Bang perhaps, or maybe they're particles that are in quantum strings or something like that. It's kind of interesting, but like yeah, it's one of those things like it's not impossible to exist, but we just don't see them.
like dark matter.
Yeah.
So how have your games been going? Because I mean, other than playing or Escape from the Dark Castle a lot with my family, I haven't really got to play any role playing games.
Yeah, I was in OGGM's Shadow Dark game this afternoon. It was a lot of fun. Always is. It's a shame we can only play every 2 weeks, but
Right.
I'm in Bloodworth's game on Tuesday nights. That was it's always fun, but I when I know a game is ending on a specific like time and date, it's like there's this desire to like rush through things at the same time like try to enjoy every second of it, but because it's an
Yeah.
online game, uh, I'm leaning more and more toward online games being uh, a completely different beast than what we're used to or with our in person games. There's just there's a certain etiquette and form that has to be obeyed with an online game, or uh, it's doing a disservice to everybody at the table. But yet we never talk about it like we should because it's vastly different. You literally have to often change the rules as written to be able to hold an online game that feels meaningful and not just like a part of an episode of like a TV show. It's like where you just like might end in the middle of something that's not worthy of a cliffhanger or an end point. It's just like, oh shit, everybody's got to go. All right, I guess I'll write down you were in the middle of talking to the tavern keeper. You know, not even like you know, something
I
exciting.
think it's a whole different game, really.
Right, right. Well, that's my point. Is that uh, it's I've only been doing it for a couple of years, and I know a lot of people have been doing it longer. So I'm trying to figure out the best ways to do things, and it's very very different. I mean, we used to play. It'd be like 6 8 hours, no problem. We're gonna play. We've already set the time aside. We're showing up at like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, whatever it is, and we're just gonna play. And nobody's leaving until like midnight. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Whereas sometimes it's like, oh, it's 4 o'clock, gotta go. Like 4 o'clock. I mean, we should be playing until 8, 10, 12. But no. And
Yeah.
it's also, I don't know why, but it's almost draining. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like if I know you don't play a lot online, James, if at
Hmm.
all,
Like one
but
game in my whole life, which I'm in now.
at the end of that game, I'm like, okay, I need. It's like I'm tired. Normally at the end of an in-person game, I'm like, oh, freaking, excited. Can't. There's no way I could possibly go to sleep right now. You know what I mean? After like all the bros and sisters have left, I'll be like, okay, I need to write down my notes. Blah blah, all full of energy. But online, it's like, you know,
You know what I think that's like? That's like when you try to watch baseball on the TV versus going to the stadium.
mhm.
Because when you go to the stadium, baseball is one of the greatest sports ever. But to watch it on TV, it's kind of like, you know, I mean, I follow it, but it's like two different. And with
I
players
wonder
and the
if
game, it's like something about the energy of having people there.
right, right. I don't know if
It's
we're
it's a
like
totally different.
trading or feeding off each other's energy, not to sound like a psychic vampire, or if it's something to do with like they say how screens are bad for you and too much screen time is bad for you. If maybe it's one or both of those things working in conjunction,
Well, hold on,
I'd
Chad.
be curious.
Even if the screen were bad to you, but you're only looking at it X amount of hours a day, it's not just that or even that. I think the screen is an actual barrier. Not, don't get me wrong. I love the fact that you're in California and I'm in Florida and we can chat. That's awesome. And I can see
Mhm.
you. And when I'm not laying in bed in my underwear, you can see me.
Right.
But because it's like 100 degrees down here, guys. So whatever. But anyway, so I love the idea that we can do what we're doing, but it doesn't take away the fact that this is a barrier between you and I.
Yeah.
Whereas when you talk to somebody in person and you can see them and smell them or whatever, shake hands, whatever, it's
Right.
different. It's totally a different situation.
Yeah.
That's why so many people are butts online because they don't understand that there's like no connection really online. So you can get online and
Or,
say the most horrible stuff
or,
because you're not actually
or
having
maybe
any
they do
connection.
subconsciously, and that's what gets them to say this
I love your shirt.
reprehensible.
Everybody's dead, Dave. Yeah, everybody's
Thanks.
dead, Dave. They're all
I,
dead.
I, I looked
Dead, Dave.
far and wide for a really good Red Dwarf shirt, and I saw this one. I'm like, it
That is
says
a
it
really
all.
good one. Okay, we got Raven here. It's difficult for me because it's lower context and there are more distractions. And for those of us with ADD, more cognitively draining to play online. I could see that too.
What's
I
up,
mean,
Jen?
that's why I hardly get shit done in my game room because by the time I sit down and want to paint something, there's like 50 things around me I could be doing. And then
Yeah.
I run down the rabbit
I,
hole and I'm just like, whatever.
the in-person games are tough too. I think it's just one. It's hard. They're harder to schedule. Like it's just like
Well,
As
it is
adults,
now. It is now because we're roughly in our 50s, more or
Mhm.
less, and that is a huge factor. When we
Yeah.
used to play, we did not probably have children. We probably didn't
well,
have any responsibility besides our job and maybe rent on an apartment. Not a mortgage,
Mhm.
but
bro, we were in high school, remember? Middle
or
school.
yeah. I'm just going to
getting
like
off of
later.
school on a Friday, and if you got your homework done, it was like, all right, we're just going to all hang out, all the kids in the neighborhood,
Mhm.
and we're
Well,
all
now
play
they can't even
D&D
do.
for
Now they
like
can't even
12
do
hours.
that, right, George? If you know your kids wanted to go over to somebody else's house to play D&D, and they were going to be playing all weekend long, you'd look at it completely different than our parents looked at it. Am I right?
Yeah. Well, I got
But we
yeah.
were
I
feral.
I remember like being gone from the house. I got in trouble though, but like we were like basically it was like a Sunday or something like that or a Saturday, and we weren't home all day. Like basically from the morning to the evening, and then like I got in trouble getting back home. Like, oh yeah, it was daylight savings time. That's why I got yelled at, but it wasn't that bad. Like it wasn't like horrifically bad.
Right, but
I
or
got
the
away
same
with
way
a
you.
little bit of it, Shadow, because my house was the hangout when I was like
Mhm.
a young or mid-teen type dude. So everyone always came to my house. So my parents, they knew we were in the back room yelling
Same
at each
here.
other
And
playing
if
games.
Jackie wanted to have 8 of his friends playing, which happens,
Mm.
no problem for me. But his mom, she's like
Well,
freaking
Raven, you
out.
don't look that old.
You know, she's
You ain't got a
freaking
big
out.
gray beard like I do. I look old.
That,
I'm
that,
getting
that's
there, man.
you know Mike Dimart. That's his wife, Jen.
That's
Um,
Mike's. Oh man, I didn't even know Mike. And me and Mike talk a lot.
yeah.
I wasn't even sure. Okay. I like
we
Mike.
were
Mike
just
has
she and I
been
were
joining
just
me on my show
in a
for
game
a
together.
couple
I'm sure
times.
Mike's somewhere around doing things.
Yeah,
Like if Jackie wanted to have his friends come over and play like all day, well into the night, past midnight, his mom would be like, "This is insanity. What are you doing?"
yeah.
And I'd be like, "This is what we did." You know, not saying I'm going to
The
My
encourage
mom
it
was
or
just
welcome
happy
it,
we were in the house and not
but
out in the street,
yeah.
but
We
you
even the
know.
idea of having
Well,
kids
nice.
over to hang out with like George's kids or my kids, it's a totally different thing. Nobody's parents are going to be like, yeah, that's fine. We go ahead and hang out. We'll see him tomorrow, you know, or
yeah.
after midnight
Well,
or no, it's all changed. None of that
one thing is
kind
it's
of.
hard to find like the neighborhood kids to hang out with. Like I don't think it's well one we're weird because we homeschool. So and there's a lot of like, we find things for them to do with other kids and stuff. Like but like
Mhm.
then we have like these homeschool co-ops and things like that. But they're
Secret
always like shutting down or they're getting moving out something else. And so like we miss some of those. Like it's just like one place that we used to go to is closed. It closed down. Then went to another place, and that one's like maybe might be like on the verge of closing. But that's like it's like saying but these places are like covering large areas. They're covering whole districts of several towns uh, in our area, which would probably cover like hundreds of thousands of people in terms of population. Just to fill a few maybe a school that's less than 100 kids. But yeah, it's kind of tough. Like there's no neighborhood kids to find. Like there are some kids in the neighborhood, but they're like they're like way younger.
hmm
Maybe there's some kids that are like a couple blocks away. We don't know them though.
hmm Yeah,
um,
Jack had the same
That
problem. There were
that's a
no
weird
kids in our
difference.
neighborhood for him to play with growing up for the most part. He had one friend that's like, like 2 blocks away, and it was kind of a little bit of a journey to get there and back, like 10, 15 minutes on our bikes to get
Where
there.
my mom lived, Shadow, when I would come to visit my mom, because I told you how I'd go back and forth,
Yeah.
because split home. On the block we lived in, and I mean just block, right? There must have been 17 kids. And I'm
Yeah. See,
talking like,
same when I grew up as well. There were, I
yeah, it's like
literally
you
every
went
day
out in
had
the
at
street and
least,
there were kids out there playing wiffle ball and freaking
yeah,
running
yeah,
around. It was nuts. There were kids everywhere. Like
and yeah,
literally just now in
same
Kentucky, it
here.
was different. I only saw other kids when I went to school.
mhm,
But in Orlando, it was like I had like a gang of friends. There was like 20 of us. We could play baseball and have teams because
yeah,
everyone I knew in every house on the block had 3 or 4 kids. Now
yeah,
people just don't have kids like that.
yeah.
As a teenager, every day I had 4 to 6 friends of mine all playing D&D, like literally every day. And if we weren't doing that before we played D&D, or if we just wanted to do something different, ride our bikes, whatever. It was a small gang of kids, you know, riding here or going there or doing this or doing that. Um,
Yeah.
but the whole dynamic of what kids can and can't do has changed so much in the last 25 to 40 years that it's like, again, almost unrecognizable. The the
Yeah.
the fear and the mistrust and the danger that it brings on all those feelings and behaviors are not unwarranted, but they're so prevalent in modern society. To give you an example, the kid that Jackie wanted to play with that I was talking about, uh, his mom wouldn't let that happen more than once a week. It's just like, no, they've got other things they have to do, homework, this, and that. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? Like an hour they should be done with their homework. Let the kids go be kids and play. Oh, nope, 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 nope. It was just everything is just totally changed, and it's definitely not a good thing. That's a good way, nice, polite way to put it. People in general are just not as connected to their neighbors, or I should say neighborhoods. Now, yeah, I mean, I do know all my neighbors, but just cursory. I barely know all their names, kind of thing. And we don't go visit. We don't hang out. We don't party or anything. We just hi and bye, and that's it. And everybody else wants to just hurry up and get inside and be safe with their electronic device of choice.
That
Um,
could be it. I know me though. You know how I won't shut up. So when I'm out in the yard and one of my neighbors, I live in a cul-de-sac and there's 5 houses. I know every one of my neighbors. And if I catch them out in the yard, man, they got to run to get away because we're going to chat. You know what I'm saying? Plus, I got my
mhm.
palm out there with me and he's throwing a fit. So, I mean, he is a great icebreaker because he'll charge up like he wants to be mean. But then when he gets like 5 feet away, he'll stop and sit and wait to be pet. And then I got to walk him down and yell at him in Russian because he only really listens when I yell at him in Russian because his mama that we bought him from was a Russian woman, and then I'll talk to the neighbors, man, and they all like me. I mean, every time I'm out there, they're waving, "How you doing, James? You know what's up?" And the guy across the street, he mentioned he was like, "I hear you play like role playing games." And I was like, "I do," and he gave me like this terrain building kit that he had. He's like, "You can have this," and I was like, "Really?" And I said, "Well, we play Saturday, any Saturday night you want to. Knock on the door around 6:30." He's like, "Awesome, dude. I'll get back with you." But he never did because he's a construction worker, and you know, you know, I worked construction for most of my life, and by the time you get off on Friday night, the weekend is for like honeydews and just getting your shit together so you can do it all over again.
Decompressing, yeah.
Right.
And
So
unless it's with your old mates from school or something, you kind of there's like trepidation, involved. It's like, I don't know. I want to get close to a new group of people and you know
I think that's just
put myself
California,
out
bro.
there.
Or just you, because I can strike up a conversation with anyone, anywhere, and just
Yeah,
chat with
I
them.
can
I,
I can
I've
I can do all that,
chatted
no
with people in
problem.
a Publix like we were best friends.
I I,
So
I
I
can
have
do
no
all that
problem.
too, but inviting them inside, that's a different thing.
Well, I mean, you got to get to know them. You got to vet people, obviously. You're not just letting
Yeah,
randos walk into the house. But I'm
yeah.
just saying, I guess I'm just in person a naturally really friendly guy, amicable.
Oh, absolutely. Same here. It's just like I said, in person,
The
sure.
waiter at our local sports bar knows I play role playing games and he plays EverQuest. So now when I go there, he knows me by name. He calls me DM James. He's like, "How you doing, DM James?" And he's always
That's
inviting
awesome.
me to play EverQuest with him. I'm like, "Nah, bro, I don't do that anymore." But and we'll bullshit around
It's not like
about
it's
whatever he's
cocaine.
doing. Sounds what?
You made it sound like you're doing. It's like, I don't do that anymore, man. Made it sound like cocaine
Well,
or something.
I played EverQuest a lot, and there was a time before they got sued that EQ was built around a Skinner box type of technology, which is addictive. You know, the Skinner box thing, it was created by like the CIA or something.
I don't know what
And
that
when
is.
EverQuest first came out, because it gives you random rewards. So you can kill 10 orcs, and all 10 orcs will be worth a different amount of XP. And it does something with your brain where you always want to kill that one more orc because you're always certain the next orc will be the one. You
Oh
see
yeah, I
what I
know what
mean?
you're talking about now. Yeah.
And so they had to they got sued when like people got so addicted to the game they let their kids die and stuff
Yeah.
through like just sheer neglect because they
Yeah,
were
yeah.
too, addicted to that game. But so I know about it. I had my topped out Shadow Knight on freaking Barrel Sorellis. But yeah, I don't know. I can talk for hours about how
That's
much I love
trippy when you think about
MMOs,
that.
but I haven't played one in forever.
That is so trippy.
Yeah. I don't know. They were a thing of their time. Like when EQ, Asheron's Called, and Dark Age Camelot, those things came out. Eve, what was that? Like the mid '90s, early 2000s. People loved them. Now, sometimes you might run into somebody that plays World of Warcraft or something, but they just all kind of died out, really. Raven, the secret wife. Raven, I'm sure Mike probably mentioned you, but my memory sucks. So don't take it as anything. I'm sure Mike mentioned, but yeah, because Mike and he's been coming on my show a bit, and we just sit there and talk about Hyperborea, of course, because it's the best game ever made.
He actually won my Hyperborea game from the giveaway.
And the day or two after that, he came online, told me he won it. We discussed how I was so surprised you didn't love it. And then I opened my book and just started reading shit in my book out of it. He'd ask a question and I'd pop the book open. I'd be like, blah, 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 blah. And we did that for like 2 hours, man. It was, if you like Hyperborea, that was a good stream to be a part of because, we were going over the cosmology and like with Hyperborea, you have to learn how to read longitude and latitude, except it's weird because zero is in the center of the map instead of like
Okay.
the North Pole,
Yeah.
because the
Remember
center
you
of the
telling
map
me.
is the North Pole if it
Like
were on
polar
a planet.
coordinates.
Right. So Chromarium is at like 20 degrees east, 54 north, or something like that. But once you figure that out, yes, he told me you gave him a bunch of lore. Well, I'm a lore monkey, Raven. That's my thing with games. I mean, if the game functions well, then for me, it's about the lore. And it always has been. And since
Mm.
Hyperborea is based on Robert Howard, Lovecraft, and Clark Ashton Smith predominantly, that is right in my wheelhouse. That's what I love. So, yeah. And the online game, I'm playing a Roman soldier who is in Hyperborea. I told you about that, Shadow, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except I wasn't born there. I just showed up there. So my character's really kind of effed because one minute you're in Germania and you run through the foggy woods, and the next minute you're in Hyperborea and you're like, what in the hell is going on here? And no one understands Latin. What's that all about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of the giveaway, I got my maps and a whole bunch of other stuff that Shadows.
Oh, the
nice to
Arduin
send.
maps?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Arduin maps are cool.
Yeah.
They
Like,
they
there's
do make good stuff.
The best.
I
The best.
I've still got the Arduin portal and everything, so I've looked at it and I do
and it's
like
like not just one big map, it's like a whole bunch of them, like 6 or 7 in here.
Oh, I love that map too. That is a nice map. I think I've got the
Yeah,
PDF.
the big brown map
Mhm.
and the
Yeah.
book, Tenkar's Tavern is on it, as are the Shadow and Sun Mountains. And if you look carefully, you'll
Really?
find it. Yes.
That is
I really liked.
that's awesome. Look at you with a legacy and everything now.
Yeah.
really
And
like
and
these.
Jackie, if you look on the big white map, Jackie did
Look at
all the
that.
flags for all the 80 nations of Arduin. Jackie did the vexillology and created each and every one of those flags
Oh,
to
cool.
Are
specs
those
that
from
were,
Arduin or did you make those,
yeah,
George?
those
Oh,
are
those
They're
are
Arduin.
Arduin.
Arduino. Yeah,
Well, either way,
I,
they're nice. I like them.
yeah, I
I like
loved it.
how
It's like,
they look hand drawn.
yeah,
Well, that was
I like that
literally
style.
that's a reproduction of a David A. Hargrave original map from back in the 70s.
Right. And I love that. I love that look, you know.
I totally remember making my first maps like that. Like I remember, like, I must have been
Hmm.
what 13, 14 years old, and just loving that. Just sitting there
Oh,
drawing.
with your color pencils and everything.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
literally you know one of my favorite things about this hobby is the creative, ability to make your own world. I used to like I used to love it so much that like at least three or four ex girlfriends, I made them a map of their own world. Even though they didn't play, you know. But I would put like little places named after things we did and
Oh, that's
shit
cool.
like that, so they could look at it and go, "Oh, how sweet!" And I'm like, "Yeah, well, I'm using it as a D&D world too, so don't get to, but just making these worlds, and as you're drawing like the mountains or the forest or putting a city by the beach, you can start, like imagining these places and what they'd be like, and then you try to encapsulate the feeling of that place by the name. Maybe other people don't see it or get it or feel it, but to you, you know those compound words of like Freeport or whatever you named the place, um, you know, will trigger things in your brain that you don't even need to write up a big book about the place, because you've already done the work in your head. And if you don't have any brain damage, you can remember all that crap and say, oh yeah, 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 that's this place, it looks like this, it looks like that
Well,
sort of
role
thing.
playing, if you let it be, is like multiple hobbies. It's not just playing the game and rolling the dice. It's,
Yeah.
Mm,
the art. If painting miniatures, if that's your thing, drawing. I mean, there's so many like
yeah,
intersecting
Like,
art styles and creativity involved in like just this thing.
yeah, yeah.
And
The
it's like how I'll buy miniatures and cut them apart and mod them up to make them like
oh yeah.
specific to me. And some people would say that's a creative thing, but what were you going to say, George? I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right. I was saying, like, I was saying earlier with Bear, I made a song for my for my campaign with my kids and my daughter's friend and her parents. So yeah, then I
Yeah.
got on soon. I was inspired by Barry because he does all the AI music and stuff, and I think it must have come. He said a lot of it came from his campaigns and things. And I tried out and yeah, made like a little she shanty for some pirates that are in the setting. So yeah.
Well, I mean, we've all tried to come up with riddles and rhymes that
Mhm.
do something in a dungeon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And,
I had a I had
that's
I
a pain
mean,
in the ass, isn't it?
I made a
it
puzzle.
can be. It can be.
Well, now
I
we've
made
got AI to do it for us.
yeah. I made a
I
puzzle inspired. Oh,
don't
sorry.
really do AI. Maybe I
For that
should.
sake, it's easy. It helps. Like it's a good like leverage for like for stuff. I think it makes one thing did. I had if you like kind of manage it well. Like I had a whole like kind of back and forth between two characters that the players were going to meet, and so I had AI help me make it. Kind of gave it parameters, gave it some ideas, and it ran with it, and a couple of edits here and there, and then it was perfect. And so handed it off to my daughter to read out. She did it brilliantly, I guess, because they actually teach her some acting in that school that she went to, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
And
that's
yeah,
very cool.
it was fun. The the last session. So I think I mentioned before that we're doing Eberron because my daughter's friends, her parents, they play 5e, so like, oh well, whatever. I'll do a 5e game and try to give it a little bit of an OSE flair or something. And so I made a puzzle, and it was based on The Sound of Music. Since all the girls, my daughters and their daughter, they play some music and stuff. He plays the bass guitar and guitar, her father, and so I'm like, okay, you're in a room, and there's a picture of a deer in a field, and there's a mirror, and there's a needle and thread sitting on top of a harpsichord, and there's a sofa. And apparently the sofa confused them, but it was just basically going to be do mi so. So, but they got that it was something like do re mi or something.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have, not in a million years.
They were pretty. They were pretty good. Oh, the other thing that confused them, I said there were some sconces on the wall for them to put the candles in, and that was just so they can light the room up. Because I was trying to make it a little more OSE with like, you guys got torches. Or, it's like, no, we all got night vision. So that didn't really work very well. I think one of them don't have my wife's the only one that didn't have night vision, and she was just crocheting something while we play.
Well,
But yeah, they got it. They
that's one
figured
of
it out.
the great things about this hobby. Others, might do the same thing, but this one incorporates so many other things uh, that you might not expect, to all come together, as well as other interests,
Yeah,
whether it's
Right.
history, art, science, arts
yeah,
and crafts, heck, music,
yeah.
and then you get to, or you need to be well versed in different forms of literature or pop culture to be able to constantly have a source of new inspiration.
Well, I
Yeah,
know for a fact if it weren't for me playing role playing games as a kid, I never would have joined the SCA. I never would have LARPed Vampire in downtown Orlando. I mean, like a lot of those things that aren't necessarily a part of our tabletop, our hobby, were still opened up to me because of the tabletop hobby.
yeah.
Um,
I
but
would
I
have
got
never
into
took
D&D
heroin.
mainly. Oh, well, no, but I got into
I'm
D&D
kidding.
through reading though, because I told you my
Don't do
mom
drugs,
is a
kids.
reader
Stay in
and she
school.
made me be a reader. And I read The Hobbit when I was like very, very young, and I loved it. I thought it was just the greatest thing ever, right? This is before I was allowed to read Conan. So I was like in the second or third grade, right? And so my mom bought me the Moldvay cook box sets because she saw the cover and there was an elf and a hobbit on it or some shit, like somewhere on it, and it was about pretending to be elves and hobbits and whatever, and she assumed D&D was just role playing Tolkien. Now later I did get the Middle Earth role playing box set, so it turned out she was right, but you know,
Mhm.
and so I'm lucky when people talk about the Satanic Panic. Never touched me, even though I come from a very religious family. But my family, again, my mom loves fantasy. She's read like pretty much almost all the big fantasy books you can imagine, right? And it's
Yeah.
like she loves Zelazny, by the way. Just so you know, Shadow, she's read every one of the Amber books,
That's awesome.
and she read all the Wheel of Time books, and then got mad because they kind of ended the way they did, after he got divorced from his wife and everything. And so she's read like hundreds of books more than I have, like so many more books. It's insane. But she was the reason I read Tolkien. She's the reason I read Dostoevsky, Tolstoy, because she insisted that me and my brother read. And but gave him a bunch of lore. No, Mike sat there patiently while I jabbered on about the greatness of Hyperborea because that's what I do. And I'll do it all day. I'll live stream a 10-hour live stream if we're just going to talk about Hyperborea. Shit. I mean, I
Omen,
could
are
do
you
that all
there?
day. Huh?
Omen has been suspiciously quiet. And Chris, welcome to the show. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, how you doing, homie? Omanal. Yeah, I thought that was Omanal, but he must have fallen asleep, bro. It's like 11:30.
He has been having some trouble with
Cattail.
the.
Somebody's cat makes an appearance.
Yes, this is the one that wants nothing to do with me until I decide to get on the computer to talk to people.
They know that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at that.
Because cats
That's,
cats are assholes.
That's my little baby girl.
Oh, looks kind of like that one of bears.
Yeah.
They got a similar look to them, but yeah.
Are you saying all black cats look alike?
No, I say they're all assholes.
Oh my gosh. You got me in a corner, bro.
So
But yes.
I decided to jump on for a moment because I wanted to show you guys something.
Cool.
Let me find something to kind of put behind this so it shows up better on the screen here. Give me a second. I mentioned one time it's been about 20 some years since I painted miniatures.
Mm-hmm.
This was the last miniature I ever painted.
That looks like a
Whoa, don't
40K
drop it.
Chaos Demon. Or a Fantasy Chaos Demon. No, that's Balrog.
Yeah.
Or whatever they call
I don't
him.
recognize it though. Is it Ralpartha?
No, I couldn't even tell you. I don't remember. It's been so long.
Okay, is it metal?
I think it's God, I'm doing terrible at this. Hold on.
Grenadier, maybe?
No,
No. It looks like Brawl.
no. It's was it Dark Heaven?
Oh, so Reaper.
Yeah,
Reaper Darkhaven?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Dark
sure it's a
Heaven?
Reaper. But I
Yeah,
actually
that would be like a
had to-
type 9 demon, but we all know it's just a Balrog.
Nice, Jen.
Let me see if I can
Like, who are you kidding?
get them in there a little bit. But nah, that's going to get too blurry. Yeah, I actually had
No,
to drill,
that's a nice looking miniature. I can tell.
I actually
You
had
did
to
a good
drill
job.
holes in his back and put pins in there and stuff because he's so.
That's old
That's
school
the problem
gaming,
with
man.
metal.
That's
That was it.
old
That was
school.
the pinnacle of my painting right there.
Well, you did a great job, sir.
But thank you. But
Yeah,
wait,
when you deal with metal like that, you always got pin stuff because there's just not enough surface area for the glue to hold the weight.
so right back around 2002, I was going to Origins convention, and I was over in the miniatures where they do the wargaming, and this guy had a game called Gaslight, and it was an acronym. It was like Glorious Adventures, something.
Okay.
And it was a steampunk type game, like miniatures, warfare, combat. And his big theme of his thing setup was it was a steampunk version of a Civil War battle. And he had one. So one of the things he ended up building. I'll try this again here. So he took little applesauce containers and made tanks for the North. Okay, and you know the little plastic ones you can buy them when you go buy like little containers of applesauce.
Yeah.
Kind of.
So he had those as tanks for the North, but he said since the South was metal poor, they had timber clad tanks.
Yeah.
And it's still an applesauce container, but it's a little
He
wood
made it
barrel.
look like wood.
Yeah, and so I cut out like these
So
little
that's
wooden
like a Mott's container, right? That's what you talk about, like the Mott's
Mott's.
applesauce or whatever.
And
That still looks really good.
That would be awesome for Deadlands, honestly. See, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
That would be amazing for like a Deadlands game.
Yeah, remember that. Yeah.
So the tank on the back is a thimble.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
and a straw.
Yeah, it was a bendable straw. And I just used the other end of the straw I cut off for the gun out the front. I doubt you'll be able to see this, but around the gun, you see that bronze framing?
Yeah, I do.
You can take a little when you know those when women used to make dresses and they'd get the little packets that would have the big fold out like tissue paper pattern of the dress.
Mm-hmm.
There was a little handle with a little looked like a little mini pizza cutter. and the wheel on the end of it was spiked all the way around instead of being smooth. And they would
Right.
run it along there and it'd perforate the holes. Well, on here, up, dang it, come on here, real close in here along the inside, if you take one of those along paper, it won't go all the way through the paper, but when you fold it over the back, it looks like little rivets.
Right.
So that's just paper with that on there, and then I painted bronze paint on it, and it looks like riveted metal. So you can't, it gets too blurry in there, but
No, I understand exactly what you're talking about, though. I know the tool you're talking about too.
Yeah,
See,
Yeah,
he's got
George pulls one out.
yeah. So these were
Yep.
these were the tanks the South he had for the South, and but then at the time I went nuts trying to find stuff, and I found these things were Mageonite miniatures right here. And
yeah,
so
there was a whole faction, old school mage night, that was all
Yeah.
about mages or whatever.
and I put the thing
Steam
coming out the
powered.
back for smoke, but if you look, these things, they didn't have heads. So I cut dowel rods to make these like little bucket helms.
Nice.
I think you can kind of just.
There's Coco Beware.
Yep.
But
We usually do 3 hours, Coco, on Saturdays.
and then
Plus, I just showed up a while ago,
So
actually.
Chris.
so I ended up even getting a
Chris.
hold of some of the plastic BattleTech at the time.
You
Yeah,
put them
the
together. I
Dark
see.
Ages
That's
Bound
awesome.
Yeah, I took thin metal and coiled it.
So what I was talking about, me cutting miniatures up, apparently you are also a fan of that particular part of the
Oh
hobby.
yeah, these things. I mean, these things were like a lot of these plastic ones. You get the ones that were like scrub miniatures that weren't worth a lot,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and I could just buy them and chop them all apart. And I made a whole my whole thing was I have like a whole
Yeah,
army.
they were like the aggro mechs.
Yeah, so I had like
Right, yeah, the
so
bucket mech.
I was working up a scenario at the time where I just made a ton of these, and I was going to do a thing called Steamship Troopers. And it was going to be Starship Troopers in the 1800s, and
That's actually pretty clever. My friends used to call me the Dr. Mangala of miniatures.
now these ones I didn't have to
That's
do anything
really
to.
cool.
Yeah.
This
I
actually
dig that one.
this actually came like this. All I had to do was paint it and put the smoke coming out the back.
Is
Really?
that like a Star Wars spider droid or whatever?
I don't know. This is made out of some kind of like some kind of tan colored resin plastic or something. And somebody at the convention was selling these in bags. I couldn't even tell you what the name of the company was. It was so
Very
long.
cool.
Actually, and you can't see it. Well, you can kind of see these Gatling guns. Those
Mhm.
were actually missiles, but I went in with a thing, Dremel, and I drilled them out hollow, so they look like Gatling gun barrels.
Nice.
So
Yeah, my first thought was like missile pods like you would see on like a UH-1. You know, so like if you were in Vietnam, you know how they'd have those missile pods mounted under them, the gunships. So that's what it looked like to me. But or
Never
rocket pods, actually, they were rockets.
never got to do a
difference, but I'm
damn
not
thing with
sure
these
what it
things
is.
either.
You could use those in D&D, depending on how weird you want to be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or Deadlands. As soon as I saw your Confederate tank, I was thinking that's Deadlands right there. You know, ghost rock powered steam tanks and shit like that. I mean, that's the whole thing right there. You know,
I have more of these somewhere, but I've been having to clean and organize, and I came across these. And so I don't know. Maybe someday I'll get to do something with them.
That's what I say about 90% of everything I own. And the only books that really ever get used are the Hyperborea books. But anyway, have you
Anytime
saw?
You want to offload some of those other books, you know, I'll give you a good price.
I know you will. Shadow, have you saw the game Escape the Dark Castle?
Yeah.
It's
we
like
were
a hybrid kind of card game, but with dice.
Yeah, we were talking about it. When Jackie and I first started the channel, Rob Oren from Rob's Tabletop World would do playthroughs of that, and Jackie and I would watch those videos among other videos of his. For years, he was one of our favorite YouTubers, and then we just sort of drifted apart. I try
We
and
played
stop
the shit.
in, but he's gotten kind of grouchy, and I'm just not, you know,
I don't know about
not
that. I
into.
know I played like 8 games of it while I was up north.
Yeah, yeah, it's
My
it's
mom
it's
loved it. My mom
it's
absolutely
black.
loved
It's
it.
like black and white art. You get like two characters or one character,
You get
and
a character each, but 4 people can play.
right, and then you
And
pick
the
up
monsters all
cards.
have random hit points that you got to roll the dice that match to take the hit points away.
Yeah,
It's a
it looked
brutal
like a
game.
fun game, but we never picked it up, and it's just
Dude, your
another one of
wife
those
would probably
games.
like it.
She's not
My wife
into.
loves it. My mom loves it. My sister-in-law loves it. My nieces love it. I mean, they all love it.
Yeah,
So,
the one. Uh,
highly recommend it.
yeah, I've
I'm just
tried,
finding
but
out about
it's
it
just
though.
she's not a gamer.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Mike's used to listen to my dad tell stories. Well, I hope I'm not as old as your dad.
But she's just
But
poking fun at you,
yeah.
and her dad at the same time.
Well,
Get
hey, if Mike wants to join me on live stream and ask questions about Hyperborea, I will answer them. I guarantee. I'll crack the books open and tell him whatever he wants to know about every single town that I know about. I just picked up the black and white adventure, something of the Beastman or something, and the adventure starts out in Dunsmith or Dunwich, and your
really.
characters go there, and then they have to fight Vermis, who are like these degenerate human beastmen type things, and yeah, I think so. Uh, Basically, I got the PDFs of those really old Hyperborea adventures, so like the Tomb of the Blind Worm or the Eyeless Worm or whatever, and you know, I don't know if he's going to remake them for like third. Not that matters because it's basically the same anyway. But they were really cheap, so I picked up the PDFs. They're like a couple bucks, and I was reading them, and they're pretty good. So I think the next TSR module I'm going to talk about converting over is going to be the Temple of Thursdan. Except it won't be Thursdan; it'll be Thaumagoran, because he's basically the god of bloodshed and death and all that shit. And there won't be any gnomes or Norkers, but there's other stuff I can put in there. And the biggest thing you
I don't
encounter is
have
a
like
shit ton
most
of
of the modules.
orcs.
A lot of the modules you've talked about, I've never owned, which is amazing because I own a good chunk. A lot of the classics, the Giants, the Slaves, the S series. But like, most of my modules, I'll have like the first one, two, maybe three of the series, like the S series or the B series. But then when they went into the like fives and sixes, I just stopped getting them.
Well, you missed out then, because B10 is one of the finest modules ever written. That's Night's Dark Terror or Horror, whatever. It's
Mhm.
so good. It's so good. But all of the adventures I've done so far, they're all like 80s TSR modules. Some of them
Mhm.
even before. I mean, because I did the one that was like a tournament module from way back. Uh,
The Hidden Shrine.
Shit. I don't
C
know. The
one.
one I did when I was on the side of the mountain,
Mm-hmm.
sitting on the rock. I was talking about that one. I think no, that one was Horror on the Hill, which is basically Metzer edition of B2. It's just like Keep on the Borderland, except different, but it's the same premise.
Yeah,
You
I
cross a
never had
river,
one.
there's a hill full of monsters,
Bone
and you
Hill.
fight. No, the Horror on the Hill.
Okay, see, I've never even heard of that one.
I think that might be a Metzer basic, because you've got, of course, your Moldvay Cook basic, and then you've got your Metzer basics. I mean, you never had like Isle of Dread,
Oh, I love that. That's one of my top 5 favorites.
right? It's basically King Kong, but you're
Yeah,
adventurers.
yeah, yeah.
So I did Isle of Dread. I think that was the first one I did, wasn't it? POD of B10, worth it, Coco. I'm telling you, B10 is one of the finest old school adventures ever made. It's set in Karameikos, if that's how you even say it, on Mystera. So it has a very Eastern European flavor to it. And there's an actual part of it that, if you want to, is a war game, because it's like 2 tribes of goblins against a palisade village full of Slavs. And the players can get involved, and it comes with little counters for like battle system that you can use. So if you want to, but it's a really good adventure. But yeah, no, the Therisden one is kind of weird, because it's an adventure that you're supposed to play while you're looking for the lost tomb of Timochin, or whatever it is,
Hmm.
where Igwilv was. And
Hmm.
basically, the gnomes that you encounter in the mountains there tell you about this other place, and that's the lost Temple of Theruzda, who is
What
apparently
was
the
the
god
one
of
with the
entropy and
vampire?
darkness or something.
What was the one with the vampire woman at the end?
That's the lost tomb, and the
That one
vampire was
was
Igwelv's daughter.
No, they're
okay. That
you're
one was
no. I think you're thinking of the caverns of Sojkamp. They're not. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're right. You're right. It's not Lost Tomb. It's the Lost Caverns of Sajkanth or whatever. You're
That one
100%
was
right,
a
Chris.
really good one. The art that it came with, the extra art book, and all that stuff, really helped me sell that one when I was a youngster. That was like honestly, uh, might be one of the last modules I ever bought.
Yeah. I'm gonna log out. Getting a little tired.
Yeah, no worries. I'm only going to
Make
stay
sure
on
you're
I've
here.
had a
getting tired and you're not leaving because I talk too much. Because all you
oh
gotta do
no
is
no
tell me
I've
shut
had a
up
long
and I'll be
day.
quiet. Okay, bro. It is
George,
late.
great
All right.
seeing you again. Give
Yeah,
the fam a
likewise.
hug for us. I will see
All right.
you maybe Monday.
Yeah. If I'll probably either be in a chat at least.
All
All
right.
right.
Have
Cool.
a great weekend, man.
All right, guys. Good night.
See you around. And Chris,
Bye.
you're 100% right. I
I'm
totally
sorry.
misremembered. You
What?
are 100% right. I misremembered.
Oh,
And then the Temple of Therisden, when you find the village of the gnomes, they send you off down another trail that leads to the Temple of Therisden. So those 2 adventures are like kind of linked,
Thurston had
right?
that like sort of like weird looking thing on the cover. It was sort of like a lavender
Yes.
module cover. Yeah, okay. I always wanted to get that one because I couldn't, for the life of me, like right now I don't
There's an
remember which.
encounter in that module where you fight 150 orcs. I mean, they're
Nice.
divided into 2 different clans and stuff like that. So you don't have to fight all of them at once, in theory. So Hyperborea has pig-faced orcs. That's like a huge thing in Hyperborea. So, you know. Also, did you know in the Conan universe, the role-playing game, you can play a Hyperborean?
Which what the Modifius?
Any of them. Hyperborea is the nation that lies just to the east of the 3 Norse nations. You know how you have like Asgard
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah. And
Nordheim?
so
Well,
toward
just to the east of all that is Hyperborea. And according
yeah, yeah.
to, yep, there
That's
it is.
yeah. I didn't know what
That's
the
the
hell
one.
that was on the cover.
It's a statue of a god of entropy or something, I think. But
Okay.
anyway, Hyperborea is R.E. Howard's version of Russia. So if you
Uh-huh.
play a Hyperborean
Isn't that
in
like
Hyperborea,
north of the Sea of Valais or whatever?
yes, it's basically Russia. It's where you would think Russia would be compared to everything else, and it is Russia. But they call themselves Hyperboreans. But they're not actual Hyperboreans, because the same people that came across when Atlantis sank and would eventually become the Sumerians
Hmm.
killed the original Hyperboreans and then took their name. So they call themselves Hyperboreans, but they're just humans. They're not the tall, Elric of Melno Benet looking bastards.
Mhm.
There was a
But yeah, I
guy.
thought that was interesting. What's that?
There was a guy. I think it's Zoth.net. That's Zoth spelled with an X, XOTH. I think it was back around when Mongoose did Conan, when it was Conan D20. He converted a lot of D&D modules into Conan modules, and he placed them in and around Hyperborea or the world of Conan. And I know he turned Lost Caverns of Sojcanth into one. He took shoot, I remember if it was one of the drought, it was one of the spider ones or something. But he took that and put it in I think Zamora, where they had the spider temples and stuff. But he like rescaled them and pared everything down so it fit for like a Conan adventure.
And that's kind of what I'm doing with the Hyperborea thing. But since magic is a lot more prevalent in Hyperborea than in Hyboria, I don't have to scale it down quite so much.
Yeah.
And some of them, let's be honest, the Lost City, that's begging to be a Conan story.
Yeah.
You know, a desert, and all of a sudden you see just the top of a pyramid because the rest of it's buried, and the next thing you know,
I have run that same adventure without using the module of my own design, if you will, more times than I can
inspired
count.
by.
Yeah,
Right? Inspired by.
well, Lovecraft or Howard or the Mummy or whatever. You know, there's
Well,
so
that
many
asshole
different.
at the bottom is super Lovecraftian, right? Hanging
Mhm.
out in slime, full of tentacles and shit.
Or
And
my favorite
when you
one was
kill him, you got to do something, or he'll just come back.
remember in the Lovecraft story with the glass cases full of lizard men.
Oh yeah, where the guy crawled like way down the temple,
Yeah, I love that
and
story. Oh
because
my
the
god.
lizard guys were they crawled on their bellies like crocodiles or snakes. So he's exploring this temple, and it's only like 3 feet tall, the roofs.
Yeah.
And like he goes deeper and deep. It's I forget what is the name of that.
Might be the Lost City.
It's something about the Lost City, I think. Really, it's something like
Do
that.
I have it here or did I put it somewhere else? Oh, it's
Yeah,
over there
he
and I
goes
ain't looking
down this
for it.
staircase, and the stairs are like
Yeah,
really weird.
the whole
Everything's
sense
really weird.
of claustrophobia and not being able to see anything, you know, so that there's this sense
And when he
of
describes them,
going.
he says they're like a blend of a crocodile and a seal and other things, like some weird kind of.
And you could just totally feel the sort of like insanity building, you know.
Well,
'Cause he could have literally been in a coma the whole time. You know what I
their
mean?
spirits were haunting that city. That was the thing. Every day at dawn, and
Hmm.
they would come rushing out of the temple, and you know,
Hmm.
and cause all this noise and ruckus and wind. And yeah, that was a great story. That's a
What,
great story, Shadow.
what
That's a
was
deep cut too.
what was that module where you end up finding you're in the jungle and you end up finding that whole entire lost city? It's a big open environment after you go through like a little
The
mini
Forbidden
dungeon.
City,
Forbidden City?
I believe so. And there's like Yantai there.
Yeah. That one would make a good probably Hyperborea adventure.
I already converted at Hyperborea, and the Yantai are just serpent people,
Mm-hmm.
and everything
No,
else I
oh,
changed
I'm
to like
sorry.
cavemen
We
and
always called you
degenerates.
Juan T, but okay.
All right,
Well,
let's start an
I
argument.
don't necessarily speak English,
Yeah,
so you'll forgive me.
I don't
English is a
necessarily
second
speak English.
language. I
I
speak
speak
Appalachian.
I speak American, sir.
Yeah.
What kind of American?
Yeah, what kind of American?
All right.
Whatever kind doesn't get me shot and dropped in a hole.
Oh
Amen,
God,
brother.
I complained about that scene so much. I'm like, why didn't that asshole just say he was from LA?
Actually, I've never seen that movie, but I've seen that scene.
That scene, yeah, the Chinese guy. It's like, where are you from? And he's like, China. It's like, you stupid ass. Say you're from Chinatown, San Francisco. Your family's been in the country since 1800. Be like, well, okay, then go on. You know what I mean? I mean,
Right?
because apparently he was only shooting people who were like migrants. He wasn't shooting like people who've been here forever. It didn't seem like he was. So I would have been like, my name is Egg. I drive a tour bus, a bus for tourists, Chinatown. I just made some shit. Yeah, but I got
Right?
that meme that's like you play, and he's standing there with a rifle and he's like, "You play D&D?" And the other person's like, "Yes," and he's like, "What edition?"
Yeah.
It's like, uh-oh,
Speaking of guys,
I
I
love
gotta
the
hit the
edition
road.
wars.
It's a church night. I
It
gotta
is
be up
free.
early for church tomorrow.
Yes, you do.
Wonderful to hang out with you guys. Have a great weekend, and I will see you. Some of you I will see you tomorrow. Some of you I will see Monday. Looking forward to it.
I'll catch you later, Shadow.
Peace.
Be
Happy
good, man.
trails.
See you all.
And
Bye.
Chris,
You too. Take care,
it's good
guys.
talking to you, bro.
I don't know what happened to Omen. I think he fell asleep, but
I
I'll
think
see
he
him
fell
tomorrow.
asleep. Yeah.